All right, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to a brand new day of AMX Global League Season 4. We're coming back at you with an AMX1 light class race. It's MX-5s on Alton Park, and we are taking a scenic view over the countryside of Alton Park today with myself and all of you guys. So wherever you are watching from, let us know in the chat, and thank you very much for tuning in tonight. Also with me tonight for the first time this season, Amir. Welcome back to AMX.
Yeah, cheers, Reed. Hello, everybody. Yep, great to be back. Really psyched to get it going because, after commentating the whole last season, it was some great action, and I can't wait to see more coming this season.
You know, Amir, it just keeps leveling up little by little, and this season seems like a really big step. We've had a lot of racers, a lot of teams be represented at AMX, and the skill level just keeps getting higher and higher. Even here in AMX1, it's really accessible to get into. It's either $1 or it's like 70 cents if you sign up like 3 days or more ahead of time, or if you buy the AMX1 Lite Season Pass, then it's like 50 cents. Or if you, I think we are giving away like free races if you like follow us on social media or whatever. A lot of different ways to get involved, and so it's never been easier to race in AMX. Yeah, Season 4, it's I guess pretty similar to last season if you guys were racing there. So Amir, it should feel kind of like home, and I hope it does, because we have a lot of the same faces, a lot of the same races, and these are cars and tracks that we've seen last season as well. So we are doing it again and seeing if things change this time around. And like I said, not much has changed this time around. So the housekeeping is basically the same with a few minor tweaks. I was about to say a few minor twerks, but that comes later. AMX Global League Season 4 has a $20,000 prize pool. We're also still partnered with Next Level Racing, so we'll be giving away some of their gear periodically over the course of our 3-month season, which runs from January 27th to April 21st. We do have a lot of races this semester. Okay, I'm still in school, guys. Sorry. It's 68 total, and we're less than 6 races through. Actually, that's a lie. We're about exactly 6 races through. We're not about, we're exact. Anyway, it's 20-minute qualifiers, 20-minute heat number 1, and 20-minute heat number 2. So a little bit longer, which means that there's a little bit more racing and a lot more exciting races to do it in. So we do require you to turn on your webcam, your video camera of sorts. You can do it on your phone, on your PC, on another PC, on 2 cameras. No, just 1 camera at a time, please. Join via the video link on our website, amxrace.com, or via the AMX Global Discord, which you can also find on that website or just by searching for it. When you win over $100, we will pay you out once a month in $100 increments, and we do go racing Tuesday, Saturday, and Sunday on amxrace.com. But when do we go racing? Right now. Well, in a little bit. 5:50 p.m. GMT on Tuesdays, Saturdays, and Sundays. Same time every single day. So if you race once and you think to yourself, I want to race again, it's the same time. So it should be pretty easy there. 7:20 p.m. is when our AMX 10 race starts. So it's a little bit of a level up when it comes to the competition, the cars and tracks. And so that'll start at 7:20 p.m. immediately following AMX 1. And after we take a look at the schedule, that means it's time to take a look at the prize pool. And it's pretty similar, with $100 on the line for AMX1 for every single race this season. We also have a prize pool, separate prize pool for qualifiers, Heat 1 and Heat 2, for the top 15 places, with a $1 bonus for the fastest lap. So even if you're not having a great race, you can still head back to the pits, come out for a hot lap, and see if you can grab one of those $1 fastest lap prizes. And of course, if you place pretty high consecutively, then there is a lot of money on the line here. $100 total prize pool for AMX1. And here's a look at who has been winning that prize pool. It's AMX1 Top 12, Connor Healy. On an absolute tear. He's raced only twice this season, but he's still at the top of the standings with $29.7. Never said money that way before. $29.70 is his. Right below him, Facundo Rago, Aaron Vasquez, And Diego Villarreal, your top 4 out of 12. That's like a top 3 out of 10, but you got to extend anyway. Anyway, if you want to get on the top 12, then you can do so at amxrace.com. Sign up, get out here, get your name on the board, and we'll showcase it before every race. Here's a look at our current promotions. I alluded to these earlier. If you sign up for a race 3 days or more ahead of time, little early bird special, it's 30% off. So any AMX race you want to sign up for, if you get it a little bit early, then you can get into it for 30% off. You can also, if you want an even bigger discount, sign up for one of our season tickets. You can get a season ticket for each one of the 6 racing classes that we have this season. Today's AMX 1 race is AMX Light, and that means that if you want half off every race this season, just get a season ticket. And we'll see you out there on the track for 50% off. If you want to head over to amxrace.com and grab one of either of these promotions this season. All right, I think that does it for the housekeeping. I'm going to throw it over once again for the first time this season to Amir to talk about what and where we're racing.
Yeah, thanks, Reed. And we're at Alton Park in Cheshire, or more specifically, the city is called Little Butterworth in the UK. And it's been open since 1953, so more than half a century of history here in motorsports for British grassroots, 4.3 kilometers long, and we're racing at the international circuit. So we're going to basically do what the likes of Jim Clark and Graham Hill used to do and race the entire circuit, but in very chuckable MX-5 cars.
That's a great way to put it. Yeah, 4.3 kilometers, so not a short track by any means. It is winding through the hilly countryside, so there's plenty of, I guess, dynamic changes to Alton Park. Always love to come out here, and that's why it is still around. It's still a favorite on iRacing, so all of our racers should be pretty familiar with what's going on here today. And what are we racing here, Amir?
Yeah, we're racing in the Global MX-5 cars, and this is the latest iteration of the highly successful single-make formula that has taken the world by storm, the motorsports world, I mean, because you got IMSA, you got the likes of the Asian series as well taking part in these things. The car itself, no roof as you can clearly see, but with a roll hoop, 155 horses, rear-wheel drive, just under a ton. So really then, we should see some really close action, and the Intermission MX-5 Global Cup is evidence of that, as you can see 2, 3 wide, even 4 wide finishes at certain circuits where drafting can be crucial.
Yeah, that's right. Pretty accessible to get into. It's not going to cost you $1 million to get a car and a mechanic team and a pit crew and all of that. I think the car itself is about 80 grand or so, but it is, it's super popular. And so if you do decide to get into that, you get your license, you get your car, you can actually race in a lot. Like this. So let's see who is on the field for us today. It looks like we have a close-knit crew of a few familiar faces. Heavy play. I talked about this guy earlier. He is here representing Rincon Racing, Racing, and he's pretty good. He is from Spain, of course, and I had a conspiracy theory about when he raced here last time, Amir, because his name is like XEVI, like heavy. And I was pretty sure his actual name was Javier, so it should be Javi, and he's just, using his nickname here. And I was right. It is Javier, but heavy play sounds that much cooler. So currently he's on top. After 10 minutes of qualifiers, he finds himself in P1 with a 150.9.
Yep, and just a 10th in front of Maurizio Lozano from Mexico. So 2 Spanish speakers up in front. Make that 3 Spanish speakers up in front, because Pablo Mexeret, or Metzeret, we could probably get a correction in the comments after this. Leading way, Spain, Mexico, and Argentina up in the top 3, with a Portuguese speaker in 4th, Roberto Bruno.
Yeah, Bruno, I think he's raced maybe once before, but new face to AMX Global League Season 4, along with Akash Rajesh. Did I nail that the first time around? Huh, I'm proud of myself.
Yeah, you're
today. Right. Unless I didn't, So, he's checking us out. Currently sitting in 6th. from the good old US of A. We actually have quite a few more American racers joining us. So yeah, welcome wherever you guys are from. It's good to have you out here. And of course, the return of our P10 racer, Juan Pablo Legnoverde, which I hope I did justice to. He is 1.6K I rating, but he's actually done pretty well in the last couple of races we've seen him in. So really excited to see how these guys match up against each other in the brand new season. He's also got a pretty nice livery. Look at that gradient.
Oh, yes. Those kind of gradient liveries are something that is a weakness to me because I love making liveries with not clashing colors, but colors that complement each other. Gives the car more like a shadowy vibe to it. Like this one, it looks a bit more like an aubergine, to be honest.
For those of you out there,
eggplant, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I was just eggplant. There we go. What do you call the what is it? Bell peppers? Is it? It's capsicum. There we go. Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know, guys. I don't know. I don't make the rules here. Still on board with Legnoverde. We'll see if he can improve on his 1:53 time. I was checking out the relative times as far as lap records go for MX-5 Cup cars, but it looks like they have not actually taken too many trips around Alton Park previously. So I'm going to have to find out if I can get some additional stats. But for comparable times, you're looking around the 150s, and that would be, some kind of sports car racing. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of cool to see any combination of cars and tracks we want here in AMX.
Yeah, I think the closest we can get is pretty much GT4 cars, but they're slightly faster than these things. So 150 is pretty much the benchmark time that we can see right now, unless of course someone can actually crack into the 49s. That would be something.
Yeah, I mean, I always have hope, but unless things are absolutely perfect, you're not going to see a 9/10 improvement on Heavy's time up there. The number 99 car ahead of the number 1 from Pablo Masserat, who finds himself in second. Ooh, a little bit wobbly out there from Connor Healy. And Connor Healy, the man, Altus Esports, 26 years old, Electro Conzio. This guy races race cars that fly. Now, Reed, what do you mean? Race cars can't fly. Well, they can on the internet. He's one of the best racers at one of the new games that's coming out. I think it is. It's in the process of coming out. There's an esports tournament for it, and it's flying cars. And I think there's actually a direct analog to, I don't think it's drone racing, but it's like e-drone race. I don't know. I saw this the other day. I was like, this guy's living way too far in the future. And in fact, he's the AMX 1 racer who's won the most money all season. So, per race, Connor Healy is having an amazing season so far.
Indeed, and I was thinking Trackmania because that was probably the only thing that's close to having cars fly through the air. Yeah, I was thinking Trackmania, but then that gives me enough for a while, isn't it?
Man, when the AMX Trackmania League launches, I am there. I'm never commentating again. I am going to be on track every single race. We're not quite there yet. We're still simulating motorsports here. And as far as the simulation goes, we're not doing too bad for Connor Healy. He, like I said, is on Altus Esports, one of the premier sim racing teams. You're going to see them out there in just about every competition. We're way up at the top of the roster, and these guys are absolute beasts. And he is on their Australian roster, one of the best Australian races we've seen, and happy to see him back here again for AMX 1, currently sitting at 6th with no improvement. We'll see if he can level that up because we're down to the final 5 minutes of qualifiers, Amir.
Well, yeah, time passes by so fast, actually, because we just only got into qualifying almost 5 minutes ago, now we're in the final 5, so let's see then if there's any improvements that are going to be tumbling. Track evolution might be at its all-time high, so we're going to see fast times there. As you can see, case in point, Lozano just improves to second place, a 10th behind play with Mercerat on his outlap here in the Rusty's Lightning McQueen colored car. So let's see if we can ka-chow to the pole.
Yeah, that's kind of an old school livery. I love it. Everybody knows if you paint lightning or fire on the side of your car, you go faster. It's a rule. And there's quite a few lightning bolts there on the back of his MX-5. So Montserrat demoted a little bit, but he's got a chance for a couple more laps here. And coming around the corner, yeah, let's see. I mean, obviously, off tracks are kind of plaguing some of our racers. Like Noverde has yet to either set a faster time. In fact, sets a slower one there. So, or not a slower one, not enough to improve past Para in 10th. And Nico Godoy still hasn't been able to keep it inside the lines.
Yeah, we saw just now Mercer right there coming through, and he's going to crash this time for real. He whacked the tire barriers, ripped the front off his car, and there he goes on his outlap. So at least he can probably continue around, but that's not going to do his confidence any good, as we are now on board with Diego Villarreal, a returning driver from previous season, starting his lap right now, coming through what looks like it's Cascades. So one of the fastest corners here on the entire circuit. It really is a driver circuit. So many undulations.
Undulations, yes, an excellent word to describe this and many other racetracks. Now, you can see a little bit of wobble there, and I really hope this lap counts, because I did see an off track, but I think it was before he started his lap. So, yeah, it could absolutely be a big improvement for Diego Villarreal. Keep an eye on the sectors below. Looks like Akash Rajesh, one purple sector in there, so that's not bad. But, yeah, some yellows after that, so probably not an improvement for him. And we do have a top 15 reverse grid, which means that every single one of our racers is going to get flipped around, but you do have to complete a lap, get out there, try to qualify for us to have the reverse grid in place. So a few laps coming through, but no improvements, sadly. There's Heavy still in front. Lozano, Mercerat, and Nico Godoy gets on the board with a 1:53.37.
Yep, all 12 guys who are on track right now are now putting in the leaderboard, except Villarreal. He's actually back into the pits, so he's calling time on his quali. So far right now, based on the sector splits, it looks as though there might be some improvements from the likes of Simon De Mori, but nobody can trouble play at the moment. He's still up in front.
That's right. I like to call it X-Play. I don't know if you ever watched the G4 TV. They had this video game show called X-Play, and it was lit. It was ahead of its time. Yeah, it was the Sega Dreamcast of television shows. Ooh, I like the blurred background. This is he's actually in a meeting right now, also racing at the same time. So appreciate the multitasking from Mauricio Lozano, who finds himself in second. Not bad, just a 10th behind. Heavy up in front. So I don't know if he's got. Oh, there it is. Okay, never mind. I was so hopeful there.
Rajesh. Yeah, Rajesh was blocking there just now, so he had to back it off and go off onto the grass. As several other drivers are thinking of the same thing, just getting out of the way. That's 112 Bruno getting out of the way of Healy, who's on a fast one. He looks as though he might be able to strike it on pole position here in the final couple of corners.
Yeah, just a couple of corners left, so a couple of times, too. Kind of rare that we have things come down to the wire, and I think they are on pace to finish this. So let's see what it looks like. I believe, we're on board with Connor Healy, who's going to come through, see if he can get an improvement here. And 20 seconds before qualifiers are gone, and no, Connor, that is not going to be an improvement there. So Connor out of here, and now all we have is Bruno left. Roberto, let's see if he can cross the finish line in time. It's a race, and he has 4 seconds, and he's way too far away. Never mind. That was way more climactic. I was really hoping that you guys are ignorant of which corner is which so that we could have a little bit of excitement, but no fun allowed here. That's the end of the qualifying session for AMX1 race number 5, the AMX Light class. Today with Mazda MX-5s, it's heavy play. Heavy play up in number 1. Mauricio Lozano runs into number 2, Pablo Monserrat in 3rd, Simon De Mori in 4th, and then Roberto Bruno bringing it up the 1:12 in 5th, highest placing Brazilian driver on track today, right ahead of the highest placing Australian and American drivers, Connor Healy and Akash Rajesh.
Well, I'm surprised that Connor, despite having the red hot form that he's in, he couldn't be able to convert it to pole.
Yeah. That is a little bit odd. I mean, it is a reverse grid, right? So, if you had pole, then it would make it a little bit more difficult. Here as we get into heat number 1. And, it is, I believe, a standing start today. So we are just going to get right into the action. Once the green flag flies, these guys are out of here. Going to get them all on track first. And now that... Okay, hold on. Wait until you see the whites of their eyes. We do need one more car, right, Amir? Am I crazy here?
Yeah, there it is.
Okay.
Yeah. I was looking for who's missing there, but he's here.
All right. Green. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, go! The tires with the smoke out, and Nico Godoy on a nice start. The Adult Swim livery in the lead. Behind him, Sart and a whole host of other teams racing right behind. It's Diego Villarreal with a big jump into the second. But, oh no, in the background, it's Akash Rajesh falling out.
Oh, Rajesh letting over there. Murta right further behind, so it's an Argentinian squabble right at the back with an American in there for good measure. There goes Nico Godoy into the grass, so the Adult Swim car is now swimming in the grass.
Yeah, oh man, it was too good to be true there. So 4 out, 8 to play. Heavy getting reverse gridded way down to 8th place means that he just got a little bit of a boost up towards the top, and he might not have even needed it because he is on an absolute flyer. After all is said and done, with a couple of fancy overtakes and a great start, it is Diego Villarreal from SART Racing who finds himself in first place.
Yeah, but Machado looking really anti behind him. It's Uruguayan versus Brazilian with Healy now up in 3rd. So not qualifying to the best of his abilities actually paid off big time. He's paying dividends as he's now up on the body positions. But it's early doors as there goes Villarreal into the grass. And on Healy and the rest of the field, 1 free position.
Well, this is why we can't have nice things, Amir. I'm really trying to hype up a guy, all right? Just pick one. And I want to say that, oh my God! I was about to do it again! Connor! You were the chosen one!
We're jinxing everybody here today.
Yeah, okay, it's your turn here.
Right, let's hope Machado can keep it in place here because he is up in front. Just having a bit of a breathing room ahead of Para and Bruno. So it's a Brazilian 1-2-3, unless it becomes a Brazilian civil war if they would hit each other.
Well, that's what I'm trying to say is that every time we start talking about somebody, they rotate to the back of the pack. I don't know. I mean, we're seeing 2:02 laps here. We were almost 10 seconds faster, right? Or yeah. So I don't know, man.
So, yeah, it's the first lap.
Yeah. Okay. Look, I'm trying to make a narrative here. Yesterday, I was talking about how Monza was a very technical racetrack, Amir. So the secret is that they let me say anything until the police come and take me away. So I'm going to pick one of these guys and start talking about how good they are. And if they bin it, then it's their fault, not mine. Okay.
Oh yes, they didn't read the script, so they decided to just flop their lines themselves. So yes, we are now going to be the opera director here and try to really be serious with him and say, okay guys, we're talking about you, can you not do us any shame?
Yeah, exactly. All right, so this guy, Renato Para, look at the dedication, the years of experience that have led him to his most difficult race yet. See what I can do? I have so much power, Amir. Years of practice to qualify for this one moment with the championship on the line. So much power. They should take this away from me immediately. All right, Connor's back on track, and he's climbing his way back up again. Let's see if he can overtake Lozano, who's, I think, a minute ahead of him. Anyway, all right, so he's got his homework cut out for him for the rest of the race. Diego Villarreal, after spinning out, I mean, it's not that bad. He could actually climb up to like 6th or even 5th by the end. Bruno, a guy that we talked about earlier as his first season joining us, along with Machado, is battling. He's climbing up to 2nd. He just overtook Para to become the 2nd place Brazilian driver, the fastest lap on the track through 3 so far. Oh, Heavy just took it away from him. Nice.
Yep, and we're building up the narrative here as we speak, as the three drivers, in fact, battling, coming through our screens here, with Ara now the biggest loser out of all three, because he was overtaken in the final sector from Bruno and Pla. But let's see if he could actually recover from it, as here's the crash after the start, and it looks as though Mercherat has actually lost it all by himself, so he was collateral out of all that. But up in front, Mori was the one that really got caught up big time. No, in fact, Egno Verde got caught up big time. He was punted around. So 2 cars eliminated in the first couple of corners, but the rest of the field then, we saw the rest of the lap having their own little troubles.
Okay, Heavy is on another level here. This guy has got to have some kind of practice going in here. He was motoring. He got to within a 1/10 of Bruno, and then fell back a little bit there. Probably couldn't keep that up for too long. But he's up into third, over, I think, 2 people ahead of him. Overtook Para briefly moments ago, and now finds himself on the podium. This is the guy, fastest lap through the qualifiers, now finds himself setting another one here on track. Healy up again, still has more work back in the back. And Akash Rajesh, after his kind of oopsie there at the beginning, has managed to at least keep it pointed forward on track more than everybody else behind him, and finds him good enough for a top 5.
As you can see, Godoy's little spin further behind after the initial first lap skirmishes. But yeah, Pla really is showing why he's the class of the field, especially after.
Well, let's see what he can do. He's in third right now, closing once again. Now only 2/10 and less. Heavy absolutely going for it. Let's see when he chooses to make this overtake happen. Behind him, Para having a little bit of an oops around that corner, and so he falls back to 8/10. But look at Heavy. He is absolutely going for it. Let's check out this onboard picture-in-picture for a picturesque day. Shutting the door right in front of him is Bruno, and that means that Heavy gonna have to back off and look for another opportunity. Excellent defensive driving, but let's see when Heavy finds another opportunity to make this happen here. I love that we can see the front and the back at the same time. Oh, picturesque. The cinematography. Yeah, it's great. So shout out to our production team. Coming up over the corner, will he be around the outside? And he looks like it's going for it every second. He just can't stick closely enough to the back of Bruno's car.
Yeah, Bruno with stout defending there. He didn't have to do much, but he braked late enough to actually just cover off Pla's overtaking attempts, and he can just focus in front, try to get it back on Machado. But Machado himself actually is doing not too bad either. He's ahead and just maintaining the gap ever so slightly, but that's all right. It looks as though Bruno has actually gotten a good run out of turn number 10, and then turn number 15, he might just be able to sneak one here.
Yeah, I was going to say, Bruno is actually doing his own race. He is catching up to Machado, but look at the battle. P2, P3, P1, who's going to be ahead after all is said and done? Heavy around the outside, fancy to run for himself. Behind this, we've also got Akash Rajesh Mercerat. They're doing battle too. It just keeps getting hotter and hotter, and we're only halfway through our 20-minute heat number 1, Amir. I think Bruno's got it for now, but you know that's not gonna last for long.
Well, as a great commentator once said, half the race gone, half the race to go. So he's done the first bit. Machado needs to do the second bit, as here comes Bruno. That's a good run out of Cascades. On the way to Shell Corner, side by side they go. That's a beautiful camera shot, seeing from the helicopter. And Bruno says, see ya, I'm taking that. And Pla might be thinking of the same thing as well. But no, Machado holds on to second place just for the time being. And Para's now coming to play as well. So these 4 are up in front. The Super 4, or Fantastic 4, really providing some good action.
That's right. They are, in fact, fantastic. And I love that even though we've had some tragedy at the beginning of the race, we still have an absolutely heated top 4 for the rest of these final 5 laps. Now, let's not jinx anything. Let's see who's going to pull around alongside first. keeping it in through the chicane. It's time for Heavy to either pull out and make a play, or for Para behind him to make him think twice about it. Still about 3/10 behind, so just trying to have the fastest laps that they can here. When do you think the best place is here for overtaking, Amir? I should probably know that, but I'll leave it up to you.
Yeah, I think the best part has to be coming up to Hislops, which is a chicane at turn 11, 10, 11, 12. They passed it already. And coming up to the final corner, if you really want to try it at Lodge, which is something that Pla is doing on Machado. And exactly as I said it, there he goes, up to second. He's not hanging out. He wants to get up to the back of Bruno fast.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful move there. Heavy up into second, and Machado might not let him keep it either. He's staying absolutely plastered to his rear, and that back bumper is going to have a lot of Machado in it for a while. However, with the 3/10 lead, that is Heavy zooming off. Whoa! A little bit of drama steering there from Machado, but he does keep it pretty close. Heavy in front now solidly by half a second, and that is good enough for me. Oh my God, so much tense racing. And now as we hop on board with Para, it's him that's catching up to Machado, trying to overtake his countryman onto the podium.
Yeah, with a Spaniard in between there, so a lot of conquistadors in between, but the Brazilians are going to fight back on this with Para looking like he's actually hanging back a bit. He actually doesn't want to attack for the time being. Laps are running out as Bruno makes a mistake. Coming out of turn number 7, so on the way up to Hislops now. Around the outside goes Pla. Can he make it stick? But Bruno on the inside? Yes, he does. So through Hizzies they go, and it's still even Stevens.
Yeah, that's right. Still super close. Para spinning out, though, in the back means that he is out of contention for that top 3. So we know, for all intents and purposes, what the podium may look like. We do not know which order it will be in. In fact, Mercerat passing Para as he tries to get it pointed back in the correct direction. So Mercerat stuck around after his earlier issue, and you can see just barely clipping it. Can't keep it pointed straight, and the spin. Para will take him out now, down into 5th.
Yeah, you know, those barriers are actually tires. They're not made of concrete, where in iRacing it's just planted there. If you hit it, you're going to wreck your car. You're going to spin around like Para. Oh, look at that. Side by side they go. Para gets spun around. Manages to save it. What a brilliant save. That is the save of the season already.
Wow. Best save I have seen all season long. Heavy, how is he still going? I mean, he's three back, but like, I don't even care. That is insane. The fact that he can still keep it in 3rd, and it is 3rd, right? So even though maybe he's not going to be able to make that up before the end of the race, I mean, I don't want to say anything. This guy's a monster, but the ability to just maintain that top 3 podium spot has to be the highlight of the night for sure. Heavy must be he's sweating a little bit.
Yeah, sweating heavily, as we might also put that out. But he can't be thinking about that too much, because he knows full well that the race is still on for him. He managed to save that, and he's only about 3 seconds behind. So if Bruno and Machado actually were to hit each other, he might actually fancy getting back up there. As we see a replay, the inset of what happened between Pla and Bruno. That was an absolutely mean save. Luckily, he didn't actually spin out completely. It was a complete power slide through turn number 1, and he kept it going the right direction.
Just keeping an eye on the leader. It is still all to race for Machado and Bruno. I don't know if these guys know each other, if they have a history, but they seem to have at least color coordinated themselves for today's race. More logos on Bruno's car means it goes faster, but as for Machado, he's keeping it pretty darn close here. 3 laps still to go, so plenty of time to race here. With almost 2-minute laps, that means that we are still going to be racing for a decent amount. And for Machado, I think all he has to do is just wait for his moment to strike here. He sees nothing in his rearview mirror, so he knows he's not under almost any pressure. But for Bruno, not such the case. He knows that Machado is back there, and so while he is going to be racing his own race, you have to keep an eye on Machado, who is absolutely flooring it, closing 4 tenths, 3, and now 2 behind.
Yep, he's reeling him in as they come through Shell right now. It looks as though he may not have a chance, not even a half chance, so he's going to fall him through. And so far, at least, they're keeping themselves line astern with that slipstream that I kind of mentioned earlier. They're actually pulling away from Flaw. So right now, it's just a race among themselves here, unless, of course, they flop out their lines, which, fingers crossed, is not going to happen, of course.
I just love listening to the Mazdas as they roar into the corner, trying to find a sharper angle there is Machado, keeping it close within 3/10 behind Bruno. Now dropping a little bit, but still all to race for. And in fact, these guys so fast, they're actually catching the guys racing at the back of the pack in front of them. So I actually said that Bruno couldn't see anything in front of him, and now he can as he catches Nico Godoy right in the future in front of him. That might come into play here a little bit, but now coming alongside, it's Machado. Can he make it happen? He's still 2/10 back. I thought he had an angle there, but my depth perception, not what it used to be. And that means that he is still behind, even though he was looking for it there for a second.
I'm not sure about whether or not you've aged a bit too fast here, but you're still quite sprightly, as you can see there. Machado still hanging on to the back of Bruno, but as you said just now, Godoy is right in front, so that's the kind of distraction that Bruno doesn't want, because he'll be the first to meet Godoy coming up to any part of the circuit, and if they were to catch up in the slow bits at the wrong time, Machado might actually fancy his chance.
Yeah, absolutely. And we are coming up on that, so you cannot count this guy out just yet. So I can't wait to see how this is going to conclude. We have one final lap. Okay, 1 and a bit final laps. The white flag is not flown just yet. And so still anything can happen. I'm legally required to say that at least once a race, guys, just to remind you that possibilities exist for now. So, and even looking towards the back of the pack, I was actually kind of surprised first to last. But oh, wow, some drama steering, like I said earlier. But look at how close Machado is. He's pulling alongside. And now he's looking for the overtaking. He doesn't have the speed. And he's not on the right side to close the door. It's Bruno who clutches it in first for now. But wow, what an attempt by Machado.
Yeah, Machado then thought he could actually have a run along the outside, but Bruno had the line and still holds on to it. And I think based on previous seasons, this might just be the actual final lap here. So, coming up now to the final sector here, Blue Druids for the final time, presumably because we do normally see white flags, but maybe this might be the final lap we'll see first. Wow, Machado really holds the car quite well there, nearly slipped a few times. Bruno's defending on the inside, no way through. Do or die now coming to final corner, no way through just yet. And let's see then, if they're going to cross the line, if it's the final lap or this is the final lap.
I'm waiting for it. I don't know. That's an excellent point here. So I think there should be white flags there, and there they are. Okay, all right. Lap 10 out of 10. One final lap to go. A little bit of a breathing room there between Bruno and Machado, but they are not letting up at all. Even I also want to say shout out to Heavy, who's behind in third, and that means that he had some problems earlier, but has managed to not only save it back then, but keep it close. And man, you only kind of wonder what could have happened if he hadn't spun out there briefly. But it's still a top three behind, and the top two, who knows? Machado is giving us the race of his life here on the final lap of heat number 1.
Yeah, the car stewards might be informed by that between Pla and Bruno towards the end, but we're not going to mind that too much. We're going to see the action out on track on the final lap here. There's Machado hounding those curves, attacking it with all his might. He knows full well that this is his final opportunity, and Bruno as well knows it. He needs to start defending here. If he leaves a bit of a door open, Machado might just dive on the inside. No way through just yet, coming to Hizzies.
That's right, here we are. We have arrived, and it's Machado's time. One final lap, and if you're going to get it done now, is the time. And oh man, you can see he keeps looking for it. I want to see what his racing lap looks like. He just keeps wiggling, trying to get around, and he thinks he has an angle coming through. Machado looks like he has hit the Raging Bull on through, but stopped in his track, and my God, you really had to think he had it there, and I think that now with 5/10, he might just have kind of given up and accepted his fate of a P2 finish.
Yep, he tried every which way he could through the kitchen sink at it, but Bruno hangs on for a brilliant win in front of his fellow countryman by 0.4 of a second. La just about 1.7 seconds behind. If he had a couple of more laps, he probably would have actually been onto the back of the both of them again. But after that brilliant save with that slight contact coming through turn 1 a few laps earlier, he'll be happy to set the world podium. And then the rest of the field come through, Reed.
Yeah, that's right. The rest of the field coming through, and with the checkered flags, you kind of had to expect most of the back markers to finish in these positions. I mean, they did get out there and they did make it look good. I can't fault them at all. It's some rough starts for a few of our drivers, but man, I still have that save from Heavy just playing back in my head the entire time. What an absolute picturesque race that they have put on for us today.
Yeah, and it's quite a shame that most of the field wiped themselves out, unintentionally of course, because it was so concentrated coming through the first couple of corners, but we were treated to some really good battles up in front, so that more than makes up for it.
It's time to finish the race, guys. Connor Healy, Legno Verde, and Godoy still making their way around the scenic curves, and we'll see if we can get them across the finish line. Come on, guys. I don't know if you ever watched the show Robot Wars, Amir. I think we talked about it before.
Yes.
But there's this thing that happens. It's robots battling each other. It's a lot like this, but with like chainsaws and stuff. So if the match goes too long and they can't like actually finish the match, then these 3 robots come out onto the field and they start trying to kill everybody. And I think that we need cars like that on the track just to help these guys, motivate themselves across the finish line. So there we do. We've done it. We've got it done. One heat is in the books, and that means that we get a chance to see who the BenQ session winner is. It looks like for today, it is Roberto Bruno. Now, Roberto Bruno is a bad boy because we do require the webcams be turned on for even AMX1 this season. So if you can hear me out there in the void, hello. You guys need webcams for AMX1, AMX10. This is your the final announcement. But still, congratulations, Roberto Bruno, doing it pretty well. And honestly, I think it's half his own personal skill, and then the other half just being able to stay safe through what was kind of a dangerous start to the race too. Really, really well played there, and that is good enough for a P1 in Heat 1. Now it gets reversed back to the back of the grid as we get ready to start Heat number 2.
Yeah, we can hear the revs rise here. We're on board with Para right now. Let's see if we can make up for a slightly disappointing first race, and we're off. A bit of a false start for a few of them. You can hear the revs drop immediately as we're off now for race number 2, Heat number 2 for race 5. As coming through turn 1 now, let's hope that everyone goes through here safely, Reed.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, guys, you learned your lesson in Heat number 1. It's time. Please keep it safe through the first turn. It's the first turn, guys. Hold on. Oh my God. Okay, we had a little bit of an oopsie back there, but still everybody racing. No, a collision. It cascades into collateral damage. It's Akash, Rajesh, and Bruno now way back to the back. Diego Villarreal looks like his start livery is back there also. And after all said and done, we do have some sort of catharsis. Now, we don't normally advocate driving on the grass. It's going to mess up your wheels there. But hey, you got it back on the pavement. That's all that matters for Legno Verde. He finds himself in 8th for now, but he's still moving. He's still pointed forward. And that's not a bad start. Unfortunate for Rajesh, but he finds himself in good company with Villarreal and Bruno back there. Legno Verde still falling back a little bit.
Rajesh actually has gone back to the pit, so unfortunately he calls time on it. Probably just to have a quick repair, get the car towed in and probably out to at least salvage something out of this. Maybe a faster lap, who knows, like what Lozano did. But once again, the start, just after a couple of corners, we had one guy causing the whole thing. In this case, is Murtarat hitting the back of Rajesh the first time, and then he, I think, finished him off by the end of Cascade. So unfortunately, Rajesh's race was compromised from the get-go.
He's not going to be able to help us out here, but no, Connor Healy, he's doing it good past Godoy in to second. And for Connor, okay, oh man, look at all that smoke. It's actually kind of hard to see exactly what happened, but driving backwards, not advised. Matsukash Rajesh, who finds himself off. And yeah, tried to get it pointed forward, but nah, and it wasn't happening. So anyway, what was I talking about? Connor Healy up into P2. That's not bad. Connor had a great race headed his way into Heat 1, but had it kind of stolen there midway through. So one thing that we all have to look at through the course of this race is that even though there was a rough start, Heavy is making his way up the rostrum behind everyone. Now into P7, Mercerat ahead of him, but not for long. And Lozano, the guy we're on board with right now in P5, is looking to make a move of his own over Para in P4.
Yeah, Lozano that we're on board is with him as well. We're looking at the inset as well. He's looking at Para. Looks as though he's actually not as close compared to Para to Godoy, but with it, Constantino coming out of turns 7, 8, and 9, it might as well be an opportunity for Lozano, and here he is, right at the back of Para. So two nicely livery cars coming to his laps for the second time here. Right the outside goes Lozano. He can have the inside if he has the run on him. No, it doesn't go through, and there Mercerat is right behind him as well, ready to strike.
That's right, absolutely right there, waiting for it. 2/10, and Lozano is trying to climb up into the top 4. Lozano, we're on board with his livery right now, is seeing what angle he wants to take here. He doesn't have it just yet, but with the gap closing to the Hoonigan livery in front, it means that Para's time may be running out. Around the outside, pedal to the metal. Will the road last long enough? It does not look like going to keep it, and no, he doesn't. That's right, Para reclaims that tenuous 4th place spot.
Yeah, a bit of a slight touch there. You can see smoke coming out of it, and nice that we have opponent cams as well, just
Whoa!
to see them working the wheel. Whoa, very close there for Lozano to get tapped by Para, and likewise Mercerat had to just back it off a bit so that all 3 of them go off.
Oh my God, this is so close. There's so many people about to die on the field right now. It's like watching an actual battle, but instead of, I don't know, guns and bows and arrows, they've got, tons of machinery hurtling through space in front of each other, beside each other, and all around in general. Para is currently the deadliest guy on track right now, craving that 4th place spot. And as we look down back, I think it was just mere seconds ago, I was talking about how Heavy was climbing. He was a second 3 back, and now he's less than 3 between him and Mercerat. That's what we're watching right now. Heavy looking to get the job done. Actually, no, Mercerat's going to do it first. Heavy right past him as Para drops 2 spots in a second.
Yeah, he got tapped by Mercerat. They're going onto the grass coming out of Britain's, and that compromised his exit. Look at that. He's tumbling through the order. There goes Mercerat. There goes Pla. And right behind him, Machado, the race 1 second place man, is ready to strike as well.
Oh my God, so much happening here, and actually even the back of the field is starting to get competitive also. Diego Villarreal looking for an overtake, Machado trying to overtake Para. Even still, Heavy 1/10 behind. He's going to come alongside. Let's see if he can do it. He does. Mercerat down into 6th, Heavy into the top 5.
Brilliant dive, and I mentioned earlier that the final corner to strike Lodge is a brilliant place to actually get moves done, and Pla there dived absolutely brilliantly. He didn't give a chance for Mercerat to strike back, but he's right on his bumper this time around. Turn number 1 is not normally an overtaking spot, and it isn't, so they all go very wide there. It's a fast corner, and it looks as though Pla might set his sights on getting onto the back of Lozano.
Yeah, well, hopefully not on top of the back of that. That's not where we want to put our cars. But for the most part, it's just try to survive, hold your position. But for Nico Godoy, I don't know how possible that is. Coming around the outside, and is he going to do it? Richie Lozano, he's 1/10 back. Oh my God, I thought he had it, but the Adult Swim livery is too strong. Now I think this is the angle. He got a great spin through the curve, and he is up into the top 3, 4 now. Man, Nico Godoy fighting this tooth and nail. He reclaims his spot for a brief moment, and Lozano actually backing off.
Yeah, because he lost a lot of momentum coming out of Britons. And look at that. Pla coming out to the back of both of them here. There he goes. Lozano defends on the inside. Coming out to his lobs. And, oh, they're going to go side by side here. That's not going to be on if there's no space for either one of them. And luckily, though, Lozano gives plenty to Pla. And there goes Pla on the inside. But that, unfortunately for Lozano, brings the rest of the field to actually swarm over him.
Oh, my God, Becky. Look at this race. It's so close. It's 3 wide coming through. Anything could happen. Heavy in the lead, but just by hundreds. Lozano's still trying to take him out. It's Mercerat, though, who gets it done. Lozano, Mercerat, side by side. It's like 5 wide here, Amir. I don't know who's going to come out on top. Currently, it's heavy, but this is not sustainable. You cannot keep racing like this until somebody gets taken out. They're all keeping it safe and sound for now, but in the end, the big winner through all of that is heavy play up into 4th. Mercerat now doing Lozano and keeping that position in 5th. Lozano now having to worry about Para, Bruno, Machado, all of them behind.
Brilliant play there from Heavy play. He actually just went through all of them and just signed out. He just wants to actually get as high as possible away from these guys. And he's only about a second behind Nico Godoy, so he's within a shout of getting a podium. As the other guys here, including 1st and 2nd in that first heat, are gonna have their work cut out, trying to overtake equally fast guys.
Wow, I don't even know what to say. Everything is so close. This is like, I don't know, the dream race, right? Where everybody's always within like 2/10 of each other. Anything can happen. Oh my God. We have an absolute train of cars happening right here. But look at Lozano. Oh no! It was too good to be true. Amir, what is happening? Heavy damage on so many cars there and Heavy down into 9th.
Yeah, Heavy actually went off onto the grass coming out of Britain, spun it across in front, I think, of Machado, and that just caused an absolute cascading effect for the other guys. And out of all of that, Lozano actually is the biggest winner. He's back up to P4, way in front of Bruno and Machado. So 2 guys who were up in the top 2 previously are going to be hot on heels of a Mexican who might be feeling hot under the cosh.
Yeah, and maybe a few other places too, I dare say. Machado is motoring up behind Bruno, up behind Lozano, and this is where the action will be for now. Because even though Heavy did spin back to 9th, he made up a place immediately into 8th, and he's only 6 seconds back of Mercerat up in 7th. So keep an eye down there, but I'm so happy that for a brief moment I can take consecutive breaths without worrying about what is happening here. And I think, Heavy probably had some damage on his car and didn't want to keep it going there. So gonna head back to the pits and then try to figure out what's happening back there, come back for a fastest lap. We'll check in with him in a second. But first, we're going to see a full screen replay of whatever happened back there. I think it's exactly what you said, Amir. Heavy just going off on the grass and, bit it on the side.
As you can see here, he came out of Britain's there completely sideways. Thought he had it covered because he went completely straight for a second, but then lost it on the way out, and he actually hits Para as well on the way out. So Para and the Lightning McQueen car of Mercerat getting spun around. So that's how Machado and Bruno got through, and that's why they're actually up to the back of Nico Godoy here. Well, actually, Lozano's at the back of Godoy, but the 2 Brazilians are working together to get onto the rostrum. As there goes Lozano on the inside, but Godoy shuts the door on him. That's the final podium position here. He's hanging on to it for dear life.
Yeah, dear life is right, Amir. But Lozano, man, you even see it in his face. He's taking a big sigh. It's like, oh my God. And I wish I could see Nico's face right there too, because he's having some problems also. But for Nico, he's on the podium. This is a great result for the Argentinian. He absolutely deserves this, and he is very good at defending. But how good? Lozano comes around, pulls onto the inside. Past him for now. Godoy retaking the spot. And whoa, Lozano, just when I thought he was going to have it. And that's good. Nico off into the grass, into the barrier, and back out of the running. 3rd place, not meant to be.
Unfortunately, we kind of jinxed it again, haven't we, for Godoy? We were just picking him up, but unfortunately, at the most crucial moment coming into the 3rd act, he fluffed his lines and unfortunately became one of those red shirt guys in Star Trek.
Yeah, you gotta watch out for the storm lasers. They don't hit often, but when they do, man, Heavy has had the worst luck. He was trying for like the world's longest like opposite lock drift save, whatever that was supposed to be, but then he ran into traffic and he's like, oh wait, I'm horizontal. That's not right. So, man, Heavy, I feel like he is one of the fastest drivers on this track, 100%. And in qualifiers, he was. And then in each one of the heats, he's had absolutely monster runs and then just runs into tragedy. So the Rincon Racing Racer out of contention for now. He still might snag a fastest lap if he gets out there and puts one together. But for now, he's not who we're talking about. It's back on Machado. This guy is always fighting somebody, La Luchador or something like that. He is definitely fighting for this fourth place spot. Harder than I actually thought possible. Look at that move. Oh my God, just slips it around the inside and takes that fourth place for himself.
Yeah, I think Bruno might have actually overcommitted himself into his hizzies there. Snagged the curve a bit and just opened up the door for Machado to come through. So it's an easy move. No histrionics between the both of them this time around. So I think they might just try to work together to get up to the back of the Luchador in third place here, Lozano, who's probably now be watching his mirrors because in terms of pace, I don't think he's a slouch actually, because he was the fastest guy last time out in the first heat where he had the fastest lap. But it might seem that there's a bit of damage on his car from the skirmishes he had before that might just allow the two Brazilians to get out to the back of him.
Oh my God, yeah, wow. Okay, so for Bruno, he's trying for revenge. For Mercerat, he's might not have thought he had hope in this race, but now maybe a top 5? That would be pretty impressive if he can keep moving forward and make up another place. He's still 3 places ahead of where he started, but yeah, I think the story of this race will be Bruno and Machado duking it out for the final 2 laps. And anything can happen, right? Heavy, one of the best racers on this track so far, has had accidents both times, and both kind of his own making, right? So you look at any of these guys, these are still mere mortals, although they do kind of look like gods of the game when you watch them on track. Anything can happen. And one thing I want to talk about is while we're watching Machado and he's got to worry about Bruno behind him, let's look at the Nico Godoy spin. I don't even think he hit anything. He just took the corner too wide, and yeah, it's all over from there.
Yeah, he went in too hard. He tried to actually hang it around the outside to cover off Lozano, but unfortunately overcooked it and ended up right into the barrier. So there's no two ways about it. He just overdid it.
Yep, overdone, overcooked indeed. Now, let's keep an eye on Bruno Machado. I mean, this is where all the action is. That's why we are just glued to the back of Machado. I wish there was like, you know, I don't know, like a, yeah, I guess this is probably the best view. There's a little bit of damage, I believe, on, I think that's Mercerat's car behind Bruno. So that might be hindering him a little bit, as he actually does do quite a good job climbing. He's already climbed like 2/10 a lap, so that's not bad. And as Bruno now nears Machado's rear once again, like I said, anything's possible. I don't know if this third place is in either of their sights, but still some very, very competitive laps being set. Bruno might just have this. I mean, there's still time for one big move, but I don't know if now is it. I think Bruno disagrees. I think he's going for it, pulling around alongside from the viewpoint of Mercerat behind. We're gonna get an eye on what is a beautiful pass, question mark. Bruno up alongside and into fourth. Machado now retakes it on the inside as the track curves around a beautiful turn, and now Machado leads Bruno by a 10th.
Yeah, but look at that. Machado actually defended quite well to get back at him. And there's Mercerat coming out to the back of both of them, actually ready to strike. What happened to Mercerat? Did he spin it around? Can't even see him. No, there he is. He actually dropped back a bit because he probably got balked by Bruno when he came through the corner, stalling his momentum. And we're still as we were at the start of the lap somehow.
Yeah, wait, what? It feels like the more things change, the more they stay the same. Also in the back, Heavy is going for those fastest laps, guys. So he might have time for another one here. It is kind of cool to see these guys try for it. And if I check my live timing, which I to my much to my chagrin, not talked about all race long. Yeah, what is that? Live timing. Because I do want to keep an eye on what these guys have going on. For fastest laps, it's a whole $1, and that, in some cases, is as much as an entire placement. So the white flag is flying, and that means we have one final lap. For fastest laps, for first place laps, for any kind of laps you want to get done, now is the time. Bruno, I feel for this guy because I felt like he had that overtake previously, just couldn't get it to stick. And so now it's his time. And I really want to see where and when and how he sends it to try for that 4th place one last time.
Yeah, because he knew full well that Mercerat is actually the fastest among the 3 of them, because previously we saw that little comparison to the timings. One of the middle sectors, Mercerat was faster than both of them by about 0.2 of a second, so he knows full well that the guy behind is faster despite with having a damaged car. He wants to get on with it.
Yeah, and in fact, Maurizio Lozano is, I think, 0.7 faster than Connor Healy. He just had so much racing earlier that it kind of stuffed him up a little bit, and now, yeah, there's a few seconds there. So, absolutely blistering speeds set by Maurizio Lozano. It's 151.07. So, yeah, Lozano is absolutely gatekeeping. Machado in the same category. But as we near the halfway point, let's check out the final moments of heat number 2, because this is coming down to the wire.
It is, and once again, it's between the 2 Brazilians, but with the order reverse, it's Machado who's in front of Bruno this time around, and it looks as though it might just stay this way, because Machado obviously doesn't want to jeopardize the both of them coming into the final corner, wasting some valuable points. Even though for about $0.50, it might mean a lot for these guys, but it will mean less afterwards if one of them were to take each other out. And it looks as though they're not reading the script. Bruno is actually attacking Machado.
Yeah, Bruno is doing it. Like I said, sending, and he's got one time. Oh, a deadly bounce, and that might just do it. It's Bruno, it's Machado, it's Bruno, Machado. They're side by side as we near the final nanoseconds of the race. The checkered flag flies. It's Machado, a 10th ahead of Mercerat. Bruno actually drops a spot at the last possible moment to finish a 10th behind both of them in 6th.
Oh, what a finish, and it looks as though it was a Brazilian civil war right there, because Machado and Bruno, the gloves were off, they were fighting, but right across the line, I think Bruno knew full well he was going to be beaten anyway. He did not probably see Mercerat coming behind the both of them, manages to sneak it at the P5. What a finish.
Man, it's a drag race finish there. In the meantime, oh, by the way, we did have Simon Demore take 1st place. Congratulations to the Belgian driver in 1st. Australia's Connor Healy brings it home across the line in P2 for Altus Esports. CLK Esports, represented by Maurizio Lozano, who also claims the fastest lap, a 151.071. So that's the top 3. We kind of missed that a little bit because Lozano, Machado, Mercerat actually turned out to be one of the just such an iconic race to the finish there. Bruno, I feel like, has to be kind of smarting a little bit after what felt like a guaranteed 4th place. He winds up in 6th in the end.
Yeah, he kind of like swung the car out a bit too soon. He thought, okay, he's going to secure 5th place there, but then suddenly Mercerat out of nowhere just came up and pipped him for that one. So great finish, great battling, and the MX-5s once again delivered absolutely brilliant racing.
Oof, man. And this is the way the cookie crumbles, hat backwards, like, I don't know, he and I have the same fashion consultant, but great job by Simon Demore, who finds himself in 1st place. Connor Healy, P2, Maurizio Lozano in P3, and then, Los Luchadores, Mateus Machado, Pablo Mercerat, Roberto Bruno. Man, what an absolute banger of a race for those guys. Behind them, Nico Godoy, Legna Verde, Villarreal, Akash Rajesh, Renato Para, and Heavy comes home in P12. Man, so much tragedy on track today. Not that there was a lot of incidents, but mostly just a lot of struggles for some of our racers as they reached kind of the pinnacle, like the level right up against the line, and couldn't keep it together. So, a lot of, I guess, the hubris of trying to, I don't know, fly too close to the sun there, but still some amazing racing to wrap things up for our AMX Light class race in AMX1 tonight. Amir, welcome back to AMX. I think you got your money's worth.
Oh, definitely. And it's just kind of like a good appetizer for what's to come because while we have AMX 0 in the past, this AMX 1 sets up for the best guys who pay the big bucks to actually join in AMX 10. But I think they were really good headliners for the main act afterwards. So I'm glad the racing really delivered.
Yeah, that's right. Hard to say after that final heat, but in some ways, the best is yet to come. We have AMX 10 coming up after just a short break, but in the meantime, you guys should absolutely take this break to grab a snack, whatever, but also, follow us on social media. We got Instagram and X or Twitter, AMX Global on both of those, and we'd love to hear from you. And if you'd like to keep up with everything we're doing over here at AMX, along with highlights, announcements, and everything in between, AMX Global on Twitter and Instagram. Check us out, hit us up, and we'd love to hear from you over there. And while you're watching on Twitch or YouTube, make sure to hit that follow or subscribe button. We really appreciate your support and couldn't do it without you. So thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight. If you'd like to sign up for the AMX 10 race and you haven't already, there's still time to do it. You can head over to amxrace.com and join the race coming up. It's going to be an absolute banger. And of course, join us for the conversation in AMX Global Discord. You can find that by Googling or also on AMX Race while you're over there signing up for the AMX 10 race coming up in just a little bit. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with that and a whole lot more.
To save our home, we must travel through the gateway to find new energy.
Yep. Welcome back then to AMX 10, the FWD class, race 5 here for season 4 in Barcelona in the TCR class, taking over for Reed. Well,
Okay,
sorry. We had a bit of a problem there. Sorry, Reed, you can take over now.
No, Amir, it's all you. I want. This is a test. Go for it.
Okay. So, we are at the lovely Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya in Montmeló, Spain for the TCR class in the AMX FWD.
Excellent job. All right, you passed, Amir. thanks for that. I'm like, I promise I have touched nothing, and yet this has happened. The Gremlins are out in force today, also yesterday, also the day before. It's not me, guys. It's something else. Anyway, welcome back. We've got more racing to do, and in fact, it is our first RWD race of the season. Wow. It's going to be great because not only do we have a great car and a great track coming your way, but we also have almost 20 of the best drivers in AMX Global League Season 4 coming your way along with them today. And there's still time to join. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, you can still join the race at any time during qualifying. So if you're panicking, if you're trying to enter your password into AMXrace.com and your fingers are made out of spaghetti, well, we're going to give you some extra time. But the racers are out there. They're qualifying. And if you want to join them, there is still time. And in fact, there's still time this whole season. So I can't wait. What are you looking forward to today, Amir, besides just being back?
Yeah, door banging action, to be honest, because we're in the we're gonna review the cars after this, but it's touring cars that we're racing here today around a Grand Prix circuit. So really looking forward to some side-by-side action, especially with cars that are much slower compared to the GT cars or any single-seater formulas that we had in the past. It's really gonna be a fun race here.
It really is. And we've gone through this housekeeping a whole lot. It's 20-minute qualifiers, 20-minute Heat 1, 20-minute Heat 2, with top 15 reverse grids in between, 20 grand on the line, 3 months of racing, 68 races, and a whole lot more. So, yeah, it's been a great format. We've mixed it up a little bit, but still the same great format as last season if you joined us there. If you haven't joined us yet, AMXrace.com is the place to do it. We race every Tuesday, Saturday, and Sunday. And as you race with us and accumulate money, we'll pay you out once a month as you break that $100 barrier, which is not that hard to do. And as a quick reminder, in both AMX 1 and AMX 10 races this season, you are required to join via video feed, however you want to do that. As I said, we're racing on Tuesdays, Saturdays, and Sundays. So that means that if you want to race at AMX 1, you be out here at 5:50 GMT and then 7:20 GMT PM, of course. What is that? That's like 19:20. don't 24 hours. Yeah, anyway. So 19:20 p.m. for AMX 10. If you want to join us for the race coming up in just mere moments, we'll be out there. So yeah. Now, a look at one of the reasons that we are racing here today. This is our $500 prize pool for every single AMX 10 race. A lot of money on the line, and it's pretty deep. Top 15 places get a cash reward for qualifier Heat 1 and Heat 2. And if you're lucky enough to snag the first place in qualifiers Heat 1 and Heat 2, and the 2 fastest laps, that's going to net you $98. So almost a fifth of the cash going your way if you can pull off the AMX Triple Crown. We haven't had one yet this season, so we'll see if there are any more. And here's a look at the AMX 10 Top 12. Aaron Vasquez, to no one's surprise, now tied with Gael Valero. Gael was in the lead, and he's actually raced one more race, but the points don't lie. It's Aaron Vasquez and Gael Valero going head-to-head, and if I'm not mistaken, they are both on track with us tonight. So only one can come home in first place, and I'm excited to figure out who that is going to be. Aaron Vasquez, Gael Valero, Jackson Asenge up in the top 3, and in fact, the top 5 all over $100. So wow, already getting paid out after only, I think, 4 days of racing. Wow. Time flies when you're having fun. The top 12 can be yours if the price is right and if you head over to amxrace.com and sign up. So if you want to do that for even less than ever before, you can if you sign up 3 days or more ahead of time. That'll be a 30% off discount to those races. And if you want an even deeper discount, check out one of our season tickets. Our season passes are available for 50% off if you purchase them now. So 50% off the price of entering every race this season, and it's divided by class. So we've got a NASCAR class, we've got a GT class, and a whole bunch of them, 6 to be exact. And you can purchase those season tickets for 50% off at amxrace.com. All right, I think that does it. It's time to get to the good stuff, guys. It's time to check out what and where we are racing. And in order to do that, I'm going to throw things over to Amir to break it down.
Yep, thanks, Reed. As we can see from the overhead shot, it's the Circuit de Barcelona Catalunya in Montmeló, Spain, home of the Spanish Grand Prix, and it's open since 1991, just in time for the 1992 Summer Olympics that were held the year after that. And they actually hosted not just motorized racing, but also track cycling. So the UCI World Championships also take part here, something that I'm quite well versed as well. I really love cycling. 4.657 kilometers long, and runs in a clockwise direction with many famous corners. But in Grand Prix racing, it's not the most fondly remembered circuit because everyone tests here. But in other forms of motorsport, especially the two-wheel kind and in touring cars, it's always exciting, Reed.
Yeah, absolutely. Heading out to the beautiful Catalonia to race these guys.
Yep. In the TCR class, there's 4 cars representing this. You can see the varying amount of power from 315 to 350 horses. All front-wheel drive, just a smidge over 1.2 tons to 1.5 tons, and with a sequential 6-speed gearbox, with 3 manufacturers spread across the four cars from Audi, Hyundai, and Honda, with Hyundai having both cars, as you can see on screen there, the Veloster and the Elantra racing side by side. So it'll be a matter of choice for those guys who prefer to have a hatchback or a proper saloon car. We'll love to see how the field spreads out in those 3 different manufacturers.
3 manufacturers, 4 cars, and a whole lot of racing. Love these cars. We had so much fun with them last season. That was one of the first times I'd actually gotten a chance to see them race here. And actually, these are some of the cars that I actually see while I'm just out walking around. They are kind of popular if you're going for some super tuned sports cars here in Korea. So glad to see them on track, and we'll see what they can do here tonight. Looks like we are about ready to head into qualifying, and as we get ready for qualifying, I just can't wait to see who's on track. This is always my favorite part, my favorite surprise when I find out who is going to be racing with us, because we really have brought out the very best in sim racing talent for AMX 10 this season.
Yep, and I think we are on board with Guy Valero by the looks of it. Car number 17. Yep, it is Valero. So, case in point, the tight for the championship lead is the guy that we're seeing out on track here. And he's not first in line, but at least he's got a bit of clear traffic in front to have a clear run at his first lap.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It looks like we have a field of 15, 16, 17, 18 racers tonight. And this includes, let's see, the Bean brothers. We have a whole host of some of the best. We've got Kieran Harrison, who makes these cars look like he was like born racing them from the year, his first birthday. He got one of them as a present. And he's been trying to reach the pedals ever since. So Gael Valero, World Championship license, 9.7K I rating, one of the best drivers, not only in his home country of France, not only on his team Apex Racing, but also just in general. This guy's a beast. So cannot wait to see what he's got to show us here today. Also right below him, or at least a little bit below him, Aaron Vasquez, a guy who he has tied in points in the championship this season. So absolutely neck and neck between those two. Some absolute monsters on track with us today, and man, I cannot wait to see how these qualifiers shake up. We're already over halfway through them. So if our racers are going to try to set a hot lap, it's about time.
Absolutely, Reed. And it's a battle of two heavyweights, because we saw in the comments section just now, and of course Buenos noches, or buenos dias to Diego de Leon, who said hi to the both of us in the chat section. Looks as though we got a few people who are supporting a few drivers, including the likes of Valero or Vasquez and or Team Harrison as well. So there's plenty of support for the drivers here today, which is nice to see. It will be a bit of friendly bantering along the way, Reed.
Friendly bantering. Yeah. Well, I mean, whatever you want to call it. We're good to go. And yeah, now we're on board with Kieran Harrison. This guy is a TCR mastermind. I don't even know how to describe the things this guy does. I never know what to expect, but I'm always left surprised. So very, very excited to see how he brings TCRs to a pretty classic track. Not like this is too out of the way. And I was actually just looking it up a little bit ago to see what times would look like on this track when it comes to lap records. And for TCRs, you're looking at about a 154, 155 kind of range there. So I think it looks like a few years ago. And keep in mind, this is, or actually, no, this is in the recent cars. This was in the recent TCR Europe tournament. It was, 150 set. So, yeah, we got to race a little bit faster before we get down that low. This is Corentin Guinness from SimRC 23, and of course follow him. He is representing SimRC, and he used to be on SimRC with Kieran Harrison, but I think, if I'm not mistaken, they are still on the same team. Although I got conflicting results from that earlier that said they might not be. So I don't know who to believe, but they used to be teammates, and they absolutely go neck and neck every single race.
Yeah, but case in point here, they're running line astern, and they're running in the same liveries, in fact. So both are running the same RC liveries. Whether we can believe the early rumors or not remains to be seen. Though they're driving different manufacturers here. Guinness is running in the Hyundai Elantra, while Harrison is running in the Audi. So two different cars from the same team. That does become a possibility of running different split strategies, but who are we to say? Some drivers prefer one car over the other. As you can see, there's mostly Audis here.
Yeah, mostly Audis, and we do see it vary quite a bit. On board now with Norbert Leidner. This guy is coming back from, I don't want to call it a vacation, but it has been a cool minute since we have seen him out here. I want to say he is from Hungary, if I'm not mistaken, and he is bringing out a 155.7. I don't know. I didn't get a chance to see him a lot last season, so I'm glad to see he's back and actually having a quite competitive time up into P2 with only 6 minutes left.
Yeah, but he's going to definitely be bested by the likes of Harrison and Valero, who are also running line astern. It looks as though the slipstream may be a factor here, because if you have a teammate on board, that's great for you. You can actually run together and just help each other out, so that these cars that have the shape of a brick somewhat, but aerodynamically they're quite efficient when you're running them close together like NASCARs. you can have the slipstream help each other out. And this is the reason why you see the likes of Valero and Harrison quite close to each other, and Leitner just a 10th behind.
Just a 10th behind. Wow. Yeah. So, anybody's race so far. We have 5 minutes left, and that means, yeah, it's coming down to the wire. Highest placing Brazilian driver is Jackson Asenge with a 1:55.9, and honestly, the times are so close. Look how close these times are, Amir. Really. You got Nico Verzbicki right behind him, and Soriano Nagy Aguilar, guy I don't think I've seen race here before. So some new faces, but a lot of old faces. So we hop on board with Nahul. I'm just going to butcher that. Freddy's. It's going to be a pretty good lap for him. I think I saw a green sector in there, so probably on an improvement from P12. And finally, we get a chance to see more than just a top 15. We will have a top 15 reverse grid, and that means that really that's going to be a huge place to race for our racers in the back of the pack.
Yeah, Mora and Dean by about 7/10 of a second. So Pedro then has to pick up the pieces here in this final 5 minutes that we have left here to be on pole position for the race itself. But Kulhavi's just jumped in by about 6/10. So he's a 10 for Pedro Dean. As the times are continuing to tumble, we saw the likes of Zila Naj coming up to P8, Felipe P7, De Soriano in P6. Times are tumbling a bit. In fact, Valero is the only guy to be in the 54s, so he has benefited from slipstream, or he's really driven the wheels of that thing to be in front of proverbial teammate Kieran Harrison.
On board now with Nico Verbicki, and he is in 11th so far, coming through, and it looks like he might have an improvement on his time here too. Really a lot of fastest laps being set here, although of course to no one's surprise, Gael Valero sitting with the fastest, a 1:54.9. My God. What a monster. So Kieran Harrison right behind him, Quarantine Guinness. I think if you check fastest lap stats from last season, I think Gael Valero had it. Our BTS guys can correct my stats there. Dino Filippa coming through as the fastest Argentinian on the track. A lot of them. I think we have 7, 8 Argentinians here. Dino's the fastest. Filippa in 5th right now with a 1:55.7 coming through. And yeah, we'll see if that holds on. The fastest, let's see, fastest Frenchman between the two here is Gael Valero. And at least for now, he will maintain.
Let's see then how he's going to come through the final sector, because he had the fastest middle sector there. Overall is purple. Across the line he goes, no improvement as of yet. He's a second over behind. If right now, he went even faster by
no way.
half a 10th ahead. 54.888. He inches ahead of Harrison. So I thought he actually lost his lap that time around, but he went even faster, Reed. And Leitner channeling a bit of Norbert Mikelic, the hero of Hungary in touring cars. Leitner channels that inner power to be up to P2.
Yeah, we actually have quite a few Hungarian drivers here. By quite a few, I mean 2. Norbert Leitner up there in 2nd. And Zillard Nagy also, I think it's actually Nagy, but I don't know exactly how to pronounce it. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'll let you take that one, Amir. Yeah, also a Hungarian driver down there in P11. Actually, I used to know about this guy, not from this guy, but because Leo Zillard was one of the guys that invented the atomic bomb. And then I was looking at AMX. I'm like, hey, wait a second, I know where that name's from. And he had this thing to say as a minor anecdote about Norbert Leitner and Zillard. He was asked why we haven't found aliens in the universe. And Zillard said, we have. They're already here among us. They just call themselves Hungarians. So maybe an alien on the track. We'll see if he has otherworldly skills. And it looks like he just might there in P2 with a 1:55.3.
And speaking of alien, because he has the same first name as the hero of Hungary in touring cars, Mikelic, Norbert Leitner. Same to Norbert Mikelic. He is trying to improve his lifetime here. 5/10 behind Valero, but it looks as though Valero might be storming away in front even further as he comes through the final sector here onto New Holland, a different name for Catalonia, Barcelona. Out of the final quarter then, onto the start-finish straight. It looks as though he might smash his previous lap time here. Purple in the first 2 sectors, across the line, and
No
he goes even
way.
faster by a 10, 54.7. He's nearly a second ahead of the rest of the field, Reed.
Okay, my man, like, you're already in first. Slow down. Save it for the race. My God, Gael Valero. Oh, wait, what is... I thought the... Oh, okay, we were 4 seconds, and Sillard Nagy goes up into 6th. So, wow. Yeah, last second. When we were spinning above in scenic mode, I thought the qualifiers was over, and then I see him zoom up, like, double his placements from 12th to 6th. Sillard up in 6th. Norbert Leitner maintains that 2nd spot, but man, Amir, Gael Valero now so far ahead of the rest of the crew. What is that guy doing?
I think we can safely call him the touring car specialist, because that really shows why he is one of the best drivers on the road to racing circuit side of iRacing. 9.7 KR rating, and it's reflected why he is 0.3 faster than Norbert Leitner. Well, at 1.6 tenths, but Leitner manages to claw his way back just another 3 tenths behind with Harrison third. So it's really setting us up quite nicely for a really good race here, Reed.
And a really good race we will have. This will be a standing start, and here's a look at your starting grid. It's Ayrton starting in first. Where have I seen this before? It's Reutemann this time around. Peter Zuba starting on the front line with him. Then it's Nahuel Fredes. I don't know how to do that one, but I also don't know how to do Nico Verzbicki in third. Then coming through, it's Aguilar, Soriano, Resende, and Reales. And on down the roster, Zillard and Dino lining up beside each other on the 5th row of the grid. And on down through an almost 20-driver grid for us today. It's going to be a great day of racing TCRs around Catalonia.
Yep, with an Ayrton Reutemann up in front. So he has the name of a champion and a nearly champion for first and surname. What a way to be named, isn't it, Reed? As we're going to get the race underway.
Yeah, a lot of history there in that name. The engines are revving, and we are getting ready to go. Brakes are on for now. We're going to have to let those go here in just a second. And the wheels are spinning, the racers are racing, and we are good to go for heat number 1 of the AMX 10 race tonight. I love that we're watching 2 broadcasts. That's twice the value for you guys tonight. And look at the field spread out. It's 18 racers abreast as they go through the first turn of Catalonia. Let's see if they can keep it all on track. It looks so far so good. Am I going to jinx it? Wait. No, I'm supposed to be jinxing it, guys. Whoa! Whoa, the wobbles in front. They can't keep it together, but they've got a little bit of help from their friends on the side. Some touching, but oh my God, if I was any of these guys, I would want to get out of here immediately. We are trying desperately to keep a race on our hands, and it looks like we're doing a pretty good job doing it. Straight away up in the front, our first spin. It looks like it might be Reutemann. No, who is that got spun out there, Amir?
It's Zuba. It's Zuba, the other Hungarian, one of the 4 Hungarians by my count here today. But it looks as though Fredes has actually gotten the jump on Reutemann. Reutemann tried to fight back, but he's being swamped by the field. There goes Reutemann, nearly off into the grass as well, on the barriers, as the rest of the field jump on him. Looks as though he doesn't have the race pace compared to the start. Oh my word! A few cars going through there, but luckily, front-wheel drive comes to the rescue. You just plow the frontal and the car straightens itself out.
Yeah, the car's going to help you out a little bit there. Or will it? Oh my God. No, the rejoin. That's not how you do it. Oh, that's not it. And I think on the way back into the pack, Kieran Harrison accidentally sent somebody else off. What a way to start. It might have been Kohlhavi there towards the back. Wow.
Oh, wow. And a couple of teammates nearly coming across with him. We were looking at Leitner and Filippa, by the looks of it, really going side by side with the curves as there's Zuba coming through. And, well, unfortunately, it was Reutemann that sent him getting into the gravel trap. So Zuba's got a lot of work to do from P17. He was P18 at one point. As we come into the end of the first lap, a chaotic one, but it's to be expected. It's touring cars, and it's always door-banging action.
Yeah, absolutely neck and neck. And look at the fastest lap. It's Fredes up in front. He has +3, a 4th to first start for Fredes. What a way to start things off. 2 out of 10 laps, and he's already made up as much time as he can. Let's see if he can improve on that time. So we've got the McDonald's liveries zooming by and a whole host of some of the best showing us how it's done. Aguilar, Verbitsky, and Soriano lead the race so far. It's 4 Argentinians in the top 5 and the lone pole in 3rd. Wow, this is an absolutely electrifying way to start the race. And while Ayrton Reutemann might be kind of gatekeeping that 7th and below, our top 6 racers are absolutely neck and neck, flooring it next to each other. And I couldn't have asked for a better way to start things off here, Amir.
Absolutely, Reed. And so the comments just now, some of the Argentinians say chapa chapa, which literally means rubbing is racing. And coming from the land of TC 2000, they have to be right that time around. Whoa. As you can see Soriano and Miss Vicky going side by side, coming out to turn 9. You wouldn't want to go side by side here. Someone has to end up relenting. And in this particular case, Soriano has to do so that time around, but he has an opportunity coming out to the hairpin second.
I love Soriano's hand gestures there. He's not too happy about that one. But you're right, Amir. You cannot go 2-3 abreast through some of these corners. And look at that. They are 3 side by side, but it cannot last for long. It's Soriano, Verbitsky right next to each other. Neither one of them giving absolutely anything to each other right there. They're glued next to each other. The Siamese racers, and they're keeping it close, but maybe not for long. Soriano over Hezenje, back in the back. Verbitsky trying to hold on to that absolutely tenuous lead. Oh my God. I don't even know what to say about that, except that Nico has finally carved himself out a 3rd place, at least away from Aguilar, but for Soriano behind, I don't know how long he's going to let that stand.
You can see Miss Vicky on board him. He's looking at Soriano, who's looking at the rest of the field behind, all the way to P12 with Vasquez holding that particular line behind Guinness as Naj and Leitner swap positions between the 2 Hungarians. There goes Miss Vicky.
Reales!
As someone going up. Oh yes, it's Reales. Yep, he's off onto the gravel trap, but luckily kept it going.
He did keep it going, but wow, that was a dangerous moment for him. He does drop about 10 places, and so he'll be back into 12th. It's not 10 places, it's several. That's what I'm going to go with as my count. Guinness actually surprisingly back into 10th, so he's still on a +2, but still having some struggles. Reutemann climbing, Hezenje climbing, Soriano climbing, and look at this battle for P3 in your rearview mirror. I don't know if that's quite legal. So bumps and bruises, these are absolutely physical monster machines. It's Fredes and Soriano going neck and, or rather Soriano and Verbitsky still absolutely dueling for that 3rd place spot. Guinness climbing in the back, and he's made up, I think, 2 places in the last, like, I don't know, second. It's been a really good drive for everyone, keeping it so close. Look at how close our top 12, 13, 15 racers are. This is going to be one hell of a race, Amir.
Absolutely, and there we go. Case in point there, Vicente in the McDonald's livery. That's a throwback to Tony Kanan's first ever car in IndyCar when he was having McDonald's sponsors. But that attack has become an absolutely defenseless one because he's been swamped by both Naj and Leitner. So both Hungarians have come through as Soriano, son of Vicky, ramps through the curb, goes 2 wheels. That is the sort of racing we can tend to see in TCRs. That is absolutely fantastic.
Oh my God, and it's still Aguilar setting the fastest lap of the race so far, 156.6 if I wasn't mistaken there. Valero still coming, is absolutely on a charge. Ahead of him, Hezenje and Philippa doing their best to overtake each other. I love that we're just glued to Philippa here because it does seem like he is in the danger zone. He is trying to overtake and avoid being overtaken. Got a great livery and an even better opponent there right alongside of him. It's Jackson Hezenje. Who is going to come out of this? There is less than 2 tenths, now less than 1. Dino coming alongside. He might be trying to get this done, but he's got traffic in front of him too. Just being edged out there. It's Quarantine, Guinness, and Philippa going neck and neck. It's going to be Guinness who climbs ahead just for a second. Absolutely trying to fight for the last centimeter of track between them. The overhead cam not even doing justice to how epic this battle is. They are actually glued to each other. Oh, tapping it. The front wheel drive saves them again.
Yeah, he just allowed the front wheel that time around. He might have lost a few positions, but he's still in the fight here. Technically on the podium because it's from Soriano all the way to Guinness himself back there fighting for it, and the season 3 champion shows what he's made of.
Holy hell, what a race here. Okay, we're going to hop on board with the Polish racer, Nico Verbicki's in 4th, and for now, he's worrying about the Hungarian Norbert Leitner coming up behind him. And that's exactly what you're seeing here on your screen. While meanwhile, we got PA battling right next to each other. It's Quarantine Guinness making up another spot over Ayrton Reutemann coming in 11th. There's more happening back in the back, but we can't even talk about that. Big smile on Nico's face as he acknowledges that he is kind of in the drive for his life. And I think that might be admitting that I don't think he thinks he can keep Leitner behind him. And indeed, he cannot. Leitner going for it, floored it down into the 4th to overtake Nico into that 4th place spot.
Yeah, he got a good drive out of turn 15 there compared to what Wisnicki was having. And Leitner says, well, I'm having to drop, I'm going to go through. And just going through, he does. But this is the Wisnicki is actually fighting back here. The two drivers from the old Eastern Bloc going at it, hammer and tongs.
Absolutely right next to each other, neighbors in real life and also in this race. Keeping it close. I mean, it really is so close everywhere. In the back, Reales is trying to climb up to get that coveted reverse grid position down in 16th and 15th. There's a battle up top as Paredes tries to overtake Aguilar, but still got 7/10 to make up, so we'll check back in with him in a little bit. Kyle Valera is about to make his 4th overtake in 2 laps. So we got to keep an eye as he tries to overtake Dino Filippa in the background, as it is still just as deadly here between Nico Verbicki and Norbert Leitner. Just cannot stop looking at these guys because you know as soon as you look away, one of them is going to make a move.
Yep, and you can't take your eyes off the action right now. As you see here, this is Kyle Valero, the pole sitter. Hasn't had the best of runs here despite getting 6 positions. It's not easy to overtake in touring cars at times, even though they're easy to follow. You just have to make the overtake stick. And speaking of overtakes, you can see Guinness trying to line up on the inside of his fellow Frenchman, but nothing to it there just yet, as we're now finishing up the halfway point of this first heat. And what a race it has been. Look at that. Resende punching.
Oh my God. And now actually I thought it was going to be Gael Valero going for it himself. His fellow countryman Guinness trying to take it away from him. Side by side they go down the straight, but it doesn't last forever. And with the blinking lights, it's Quarantine Guinness saying, hey man, I thought we had a deal here. No, you shall not pass unless we're talking about the next 5 seconds, because I think he is going to keep on trying here. Still keeping it close within a couple tenths. This is absolutely going to be a Quarantine is never going to give up here. He's going to keep trying this the rest of the race until either he makes it or he dies trying. So cannot wait to watch these guys battle it out. They've been 2 of the top performing drivers in AMX Global League Season 3, and they're back at it again here in Season 4.
Yeah, that's all either one of them is not going to say non-regret grand if they were to hit each other out after this. So they might just want to work together here to get up to the back for the rest of the top 10. Lippa just tantalizingly close, 5 tenths in front of Valero. And you can see that Guinness, he's giving Valero the hurry up, but Valero is just not having the pace at this point in time. It looks as though he might have chewed through his front tires quickly trying to overtake some of these guys.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. Getting that 15-point reverse grid back that far means that you are going to put some heavy wear on those tires, making up those places. And we have seen racers do it before, but it's definitely not easy, especially when you have such stiff competition all the way around you. So still keeping it close. Valero's within 2 tenths of Philippa ahead of him. Guinness keeping it just as close, right behind. And his SimRC teammate, Kieran Harrison, back behind him, the next car in a row. We take a look at the Aaron Vasquez and Reales fracas in the rear. Kind of impressive save, but still it's going to slow you way, way down, and that is why Aaron Vasquez is not in contention for the lead.
Well, bunny hopping his way through though, so that's points for style and a bit of time on camera, but not in the way you would have wanted, and it kind of shows where he is right now. He's in the pits, so sitting this one out until the end of this first heat. As the inside goes Filippa, as he saw Valero looking on the inside of him too, so it was just like a counter reaction to a counter reaction, and nearly having a big one.
This is a big one. It is the middle of a big one. It's 3 cars glued together, and now it looks like finally Gael Valero is going to do it. it down the inside. It is Gael Valero, 0.3 between them, now slipping back. He is absolutely still at this, chomping at the bit, but cannot put himself ahead of Dino Filippa.
No, sirree. Filippa's putting a quite staunch defense. Look at that. He chops across the front of Valero. He really doesn't want to give up his position at all. Not by a long shot. And he certainly is being paid his dues here. But for how long? Goes on the inside. Blocks Valero again. That might not be fair play.
Yeah, wow. No, Valero has to keep an eye on not only the cars around him, but also his rule book, if he's got that in the cockpit with him. Does need to keep this fair, but it hasn't been able to make this overtake happen. Oh my God, right as I say it, oh my God, it's Filippa. Filippa has a little bit of an oopsie-daisy and drops out completely of contention there. Effortless. Wow, why didn't you just wait for that to happen earlier? Filippa dropping back means Gael Valero and Quarantine as the Frenchman advance into 8th and 9th respectively.
Looking at the stream replay right now to see where did he lose that. No, he just ran a bit wide coming up to Akaisha at turn number 10 and lets the both of them through. So he probably went a bit narrow, which is something you do not want to do in TCR cars. These cars are really front loaded. So with the moment you step on the brakes and you lose it, that's it. The car's just going to understeer off. And that's exactly what happened to Filippa, conceding the position to both Frenchmen. Battering the throttle there, you can hear Harrison actually just backing off. He doesn't want to hit the back of Filippa, as it's not easy to overtake in these touring cars, even though we've seen that you can go side by side, but getting it is, what I mean is just getting the move done. As you can see, on the inside goes Naj on Fizbiki. The two Eastern Bloc drivers between a Pole and a Hungarian go side by side here. It looks as though the Pole comes out on pole.
Well said. Yeah, he's trying. Oh my God. Yeah, Nico maintaining that lead in a dominant fashion. Much better line. Doesn't have to cut it there and will maintain that top 5 spot. Gatekeeping a whole host of some of the best drivers we've seen all season long, even last season too. It is a whole host of who's here. And the way that this race is going, you absolutely cannot predict anything. The podium, even that's not locked down. Norbert Leitner, Hungarian up on the Argentinian Soriano, locking down that top 3 podium spot. Can he keep himself in line? Tobias is worried. You see him shaking his head a few times. This guy emotional and feeling frustrated after he had some real struggles even just getting up into that 3rd place. And now that he's made it there, he might not be there for much longer. Leitner on a +10 drive, a monster move, and now keeping it threatening that top 3.
Yeah, he was probably shaking his head that he wasn't getting the best of exits. Yeah, these cars are really exit dependent. And speaking of exits, there's Valero getting a good run after exiting through turn 16. On the inside, Resende, but Resende equally just vigilant to it, braking around the outside, real braking it, somehow manages to get it stopped in time and stays ahead of French.
Oh my God, now on board with Gael Valero. Let's see if he can make it past the McDonald's livery of Jackson Asenge in front. That's a little bit wobbly, but comes through the corner the way he wanted to. Hits the racing line, but for Harrison, he's the one making up spaces over Filippa behind. The SimRC drivers trying to keep up with each other, and indeed they will. It's Ginez, Resenge, Ginez, Asenge, Ginez up past, and now even Gael Valero coming through. He's got a great track behind, getting a beautiful flow. It's Valero in through Jackson Asenge, up next to his countrymen, 7th and 8th.
Yep, and that was a really textbook move from Ginez. They bided his time, waited to get the best line out of turn number 3, and makes the most of it because both of them were still squabbling at it, and they're still going at it. Resende and Valero, and much to the frustration of Valero, he hadn't made up anything. If anything, he lost 1 position from that particular one. Ginez gained 2. Side by side they go, still on it here with Valero and Resende. It looks as though Resende has to relinquish the position at last for Valero to get by, and comes on the inside goes Kieran Harrison. Well, Harrison may have been probably thinking his Christmas game early again because he had it open on the inside, but couldn't get through. Resende defense with all his might, and then some onto the start finish stretch. We are on the final lap. White flag flies, Reed.
I mean, this white flag is my surrender. I'm trying to get out of here. This is too much for me, Amir. I'm so glad you're here along with me. Somebody's got to hold on. Hold me, Amir. We're going for it. Kieran Harrison making a big move. Past Jackson Asenge, neck and neck. A little bit of a bump, says thank you very much. See you later. And that is Kieran Harrison up past Jackson Asenge, down solidly into 10th. And now he will find his way closer and closer to Kyle Valero and Guinness, who have finally distanced themselves from each other. A little bit of restraint being exercised there. Now Dino Filippa, Pilavi, they're both in the mix next to Asenge. He thought he had just lost his place up there, now still having to defend for his life in the top 10.
Yeah, we see that a lot of these guys are playing Champa quite well as Resende gets turned around by one of these said Argentines, and Filippa goes through, Kulhavi goes through.
My
Resende
God.
has to cut across Reutemann. Oh, it's a Brazilian and Argentinian sandwich with a Hungarian somewhere in between as well. What an amazing race we had from front to back, Reed.
I don't even know, how do you call this, man? So exciting to watch these guys racing against each other. And now Norbert Leitner up front. He was so close to third. Oh my God. I'm just trying to keep an eye. There's like 4 battles going on right now with the other Hungarian driver, Ziller, trying to make up a place on Verbitsky in 5th. So the battle for top 5, the battle for top 10, the battle for top 3. They're all going on down to the wire on the white flag final lap.
Yep, as we might see Aguiar come across the line in front of Fredes by about 8/10 of a second. That's close between the both of them. They weren't going at it as well. There we go. Aguiar comes across the line, 7/10 ahead of his fellow countryman Fredes. And Soriano makes it in Argentine. 1, 2, 3. What a finish.
Absolutely down to the wire. There's still actually a little bit of racing going on back there towards the back, but the checkered flags fly, and that is going to do it down the order. Kyle Valero coming through with the fastest lap, a 1:55.1. Still fastest man on track, finishing there in 8th. What an incredible race, Amir. This is heat number 1. I hope these guys saved a little bit for later, because we're going to have to do it all over again. Well, that's going to do it.
I was losing a bit of connection. Yeah.
Okay,
sorry
well,
about it.
glad to have you back.
Just a bit of connection issues. Oh.
No. I mean, we've all been there once or twice. Well, now that we're waiting for our final racer, Reales, to get across the line. Once he does, Amir, I'm going to turn it over to you to break down our final standings. I mean, you can kind of see them on the screen right now. But let's see if you can navigate these last few corners. Oh my God, the suspense, electrifying. After a super stressful race, it's nice to have a little bit of a warm-up lap. Calming down there is Reales crossing the finish line and finalizing the standings for our 18 racers in AMX 10. Okay, that is going to do it for our first heat. And so we have to crown the session winner. Amir, take it away.
Yep, it's Kyle Valero, who's the fastest lap guy. I was looking at the bottom there, but it's Santiago Aguiar, the winner by 7/10 in front of Nahel Fredes and Tobias Serrano, an Argentine 1, 2, 3. They actually, first two, didn't really see much from behind. They were fighting it all out. Norbert Leitner with a fighting race, gaining about 11 positions up to P4, showing the best of the Hungarians up there, with Nikodem Bizbicki running out the top 5 for Poland. With the rest of the field, Zilat Nash, Corentin Guinness, Valero, who had really tough races trying to get by the guys in front of them. Kieran Harrison will be a bit disappointed with P9, but he'll be starting further up in race number 2. And Dino Filippa running out the top 10. Oh, and that's just a free taster for what's to come.
Yeah, that's right. That's the main course. We got the dessert. We're saving the best for last. It's AMX 10, heat number 2, and green lights are go. We are here. Starting the things off, it's Pedro Mora, Zuba, Reutemann in the top 3. They get a great start. It's Reutemann up a place, trying to maintain it. Wiggles up in the front. It's carnage on the first lap before the first turn. 1, 2, 3, 4 cars all going off. tumbling down the order is Reutemann and Zuba. They are way out of there, and they're still bouncing back in the back. Car parts coming off everywhere you look, and the survivors in the front. It's Mora, Hisenje, and Karen leading in the top 3 spots.
Oh wow, you can see Zuba and Reutemann actually high-fiving each other, probably because the cars literally were front to front, and somehow Reutemann ended up racing backwards after that. But it was a messy start, but through all of that, the Mora punches through in front. Resende goes off onto the gravel. That's how he gets back safely. Yes, he does. But the beneficiaries, Harrison, Wisnicki, and Valero going up there. So Valero actually has a better start because he was hunting for her up anyway. We thought we could have a bit of a breather after the craziness of race number 1, but we still continue it, part 2 in heat number 2.
That's right, side by side now, battle for the podium spot. That 4th place between Nico Versbisky and Gael Valero battling it still. There's never no brakes allowed until you go into the turn, and then you got to hit them. But doesn't look like they're here to do it. Gael Valero now finally has the angle. He does hit the zoom button, but he drops back instead. To Senche in 3rd. How does he make it happen? He spins out. No, the hubris. It was not meant to last. He does not maintain that podium spot, and now off into the weeds. No more luck for him, finally running out, and that makes it a top 3. Kieran Harrison, Pedro Moore, Vito Philippa.
We got a few for Resende there. He had the line on the inside, but unfortunately, because the way you understand, as you can see, more cars go up. Agria, Heat 1 winner, into the gravel trap, gets dumped out. I was about to say, Resende was also the recipient of being dumped out there, and it looked as though it's the same case for Agria, and it's got all to do in heat number 2. Up in front though, Felipe and Mora, side by side they go, Argentine and Brazilian, so they go through, almost like Senna and Mansell back in 1991. Who's gonna blink first? It looks as though Mora blinks and lets Filippa through, so same case like what Senna and Mansell did. Senna had to let Mansell through. Same case here. Filippa goes on the inside, Mora.
That's right. In the meantime, we're watching the silent assassin, Aaron Vasquez. He's murdered 11 people, and we haven't caught him yet. And neither have the rest of the pack because he is on a monster run in through the pack up into 7. We're watching it right now, but the camera's having trouble keeping up with this guy. He's so damn fast. Right behind him, Soriano and Versbicki, they're looking to make even more of an improvement. And honestly, this makes sense for everyone except for Mora, who's lost a couple of spots. Everyone else on monster climbs. It's Sillard up into 10th. He's trying to contest the Polish driver, Versbicki, in front of him. Now Soriano now feeling the heat too. Neck and neck start. Feels like we never finished, never left. Still absolutely action-packed up and down the field. On board now with Nico to see if he can keep Zillard behind him. It is now down to the wire, side by side. Oh my God, who's gonna take this? It looks, oh my God, I can't even call this. Too close to call. Down the inside. It does look like Versbicki loses the spot until he retakes the spot and now keeps the spot. My God.
Oh, they're going chopping and changing everywhere we go. And Naj, I think, is still battling with Versbicki, but Agria comes back at it. So, oh, there he goes. That's actually Agria in question. He has to cut the circuit and stops right in front of Versbicki. He may not like that one bit because that stalls his momentum coming onto the long start finish straight and onto turn number 1. What in heavens happened there?
Yeah, I totally agree. That really screwed up Nico's run there. That's a big moment for you to get the right exit and floor it down the straightaway. Nico missed out on that. Now he finds himself a little bit stymied down there where he started in 11. Really difficult to see that happen. But for Norbert Leitner up top, he's about to make a run on that top 3. He's got Pedro. He's going to do him right around the next corner. I want to see it. I want to see it. He hasn't made it happen yet. Back now on to Pedro. Nope, just kidding. It's Gael Valero, the guy we're watching defend from Pedro Mora. Leitner gets him exactly like I said it on the very next corner, and now has Gael Valero stuck in his sights.
That's not what he wants. In fact, there is Guinness going onto the inside of what looks like that's Mora. So Mora actually has been swamped once again by really fast guys in these TCR touring cars. So Leitner and Guinness gain 1 position apiece, while Mora drops 2, with the added trouble of having Vasquez and Soriano behind catching fast as well. So he's not having any respite at all. Just like us here, we as opposed to having two 10-lap heats, we're having a 20-lap heat altogether.
Oh, yeah, no, I wish we hadn't had the break in between. Oh, here we go! It's Soriano. Perfect time for the onboard. And now Aaron Vasquez taking it back. Soriano had it. He felt the sweet taste. He tasted it, but ripped right out of his mouth. Soriano and Zillard Naj right next to each other until the end of time. Aaron Vasquez, Vasquez and Soriano, my bad. Right next to each other. Soriano can't quite catch him yet.
I like how we have zoom in on the onboard cameras that we have sometimes, actually. So credit to the production team behind the scenes to make more dynamic shots. We saw just now on board with Soriano, we can see on the back it says, back off or get diabetes. Well, I think Vasquez is just telling Soriano to literally don't overtake him. But now that's Soriano, he's onto the back of him. Coming out to turn one, we're looking at Corentin Guinness trying to overtake Pedro Mora again. So Mora actually managed to just tough it out and get back in front of the fast charging. No, in fact, Mora's behind now. Guinness is actually chasing up to the back of Norbert Leitner with Valero up in front. So two Frenchmen sandwiching a Hungarian in between. Can we see the magical Magyar get by you?
Did you call him the magical Magyar?
It's based on the football team. Soccer team back in the 50s.
Okay.
They call the magical Magyars.
I mean, if you hadn't told me, I just think you made it up, and that's fantastic. I love it. I'm going to call everything Hungarian that for the rest of time. Corentin Guinness, the guy trying to take on the Hungarian in front of him, and they're going to keep doing it for the next few turns. This is such a cool pack to have here. Gaio Valero, Norbert Leitner, and Corentin Guinness battling it out for our enjoyment. This is what the citizens must have felt like going to the Coliseum, just watching the absolute mayhem, which we're going to watch down in the picture-in-picture as we see what happened at the start. I already sensed a little bit of wobbling there as Jackson Asenje kind of moving and grooving, and then, oh, there it is, the turn in and carnage from here henceforth. Oh my God, 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah, watch Zuba Reutemann afterwards, because Reutemann actually, while he was on a recovery, was launched up into the air. Hopefully the replay stays for a while to see what happened afterwards, because he literally got royally screwed over by the whole thing. There he is, goes through, and I was hoping to see that the front bumper-to-front bumper action that caused Reutemann to play backwards, but wow, we didn't even get to the first quarter. It was just like a continuation of the first heat.
Oh yeah, no, and it's still going. We got half the race left to race. That's what happens. And now it's Aaron Vasquez in on Pedro Mora, up through 6th, 7th, and now, or up through 8th, 7th, and now 6th goes Aaron Vasquez. He's got 3 seconds until he catches Corentin Guinness, but that doesn't even seem impossible for an absolutely, blazing fast lap there set by Aaron Vasquez. Corentin Guinness, we're on board for him for a brief moment, and then seeing what he has in his sights. It's Leitner ahead, then Valero, the pack we've been watching for the last few minutes.
And let's see what he can do. In fact, he is doing it right now on the inside, coming up to turn 6 inside of Leitner, but Leitner is firm to it because he's got his sights set on Valero. So these are 3 really fast guys in the TCR class going at it. So we're going to be treated here to an absolutely brilliant battle. So far, they've been chopping and changing, but they're still in the same positions as they were in the previous lap.
But for how long, Amir? That's me sowing the seeds of chaos. Things are like trying to settle down, and I'm like, no, more danger. So Soriano Vasquez, that's something, but I think Vasquez has more pace, so probably not actually as close as it looks, which means that we're just going to watch that 3.7 dwindle down further and further. He is setting such fast laps that he's made up in 4-5 corners. He's made up 3/10 on Guinness. So we got to keep an eye on that. Leitner also similarly in the pressure zone. Corentin Guinness behind him. I'm so happy we can see what it looks like to Gaio Valero up ahead. Absolute killers up here in the top 5. And Guinness, I think he might be struggling with a little bit of connection issues. He is I thought he would have a much easier time here, but looks like he is really, really having to work for it. Similarly, Leitner up through on the inside. Gael getting taken. His lunch money, it's gone. And now trying to retake, he can't get it. A little bit of a shove, give it to it. And he bullies through Leitner into third.
Textbook move there from Leitner. Jumps one on the inside. Valero thought he could actually fight it out on the outside, but the door was already shutting. And Leitner just slaps it right in his face. And Guinness goes around the outside as well of his fellow countryman. The two Frenchmen go side by side. The Hungarian in front holds firm. And there you go. That is long gone. Unless, of course, the two of them will come back at him. Oh, that is very close between Guinness and Valero. But it's Guinness who gets up another position as well. And these two set their sights on Filippa up in front. For how long, though? If they still continue battling, it might actually bring Soriano and Vasquez into this mix as well.
Yeah, wow, Vasquez now only 7/10 back. Did he actually drop that spot? I thought Vasquez was in 6th, and then he dropped like a second back. So, yeah, I don't know what's going on there, but yeah, Aaron's got to get his stuff together because we only have 4 laps left. In the meantime, the same goes for the same people we've been talking about, although in a slightly different order. Leitner, Guinness, and Valero. Really the only thing happening right now, and for Gael Valero, I think it might keep happening. He seems to be sort of the adjutant here. He sees Guinness in front of him as the two French guys racing in this. You got to know he doesn't want that order to stay the way it is. Although I will say it might take a few laps where they really put together a good line.
Yeah, because they still got the cork in the bottle right in front, which is Leitner. Well, in fact, Leitner did make up position just this previous lap. But they're going to have to get a hit to get by him because you know full well how Leitner can actually attack. Let's see how he is in defense. And for a second, I thought we just saw the cameras zooming in and very cool dynamic shots there. Our broadcast is having a bit of fun here, trying to show every bit of last detail on some of these liveries.
We really get some up close and personal. Speaking of which, Kieran Harrison, I actually never thought we were going to see this guy the whole race. He is 3.5 seconds ahead of Dino Filippa. This guy is playing single player. He is in practice mode. He is so far ahead. I think this is what I kind of expected from Heat 1, but it was a little bit tragic. And I hope we had a chance to talk to Kieran a little bit later because, yeah, we're going to forget about Heat number 1. This is the race we all knew he was capable of. Kieran, so far in the lead, you might be approaching back markers coming through. And this is not that short a track. So really, really exciting to watch him do so well. I'm glad we get a chance to highlight that. Now, back on board with Pedro Mora, who actually has to deal with Ziller Naj right behind him. This is actually a little bit unexpectedly close, as Ziller might have the drive here. Pedro Mora, the house could be falling on down around him, and he would have exactly the same expression on his face. This guy is cool, calm, collected, keeping it 300. But look at what's coming in behind him. This is the most aggressive driving I've ever seen. Look at those facial expressions. This guy's a killer. Ziller Naj coming through, and he's trying to make this happen and doing it with the most expressions I've seen. EPM, expressions per minute. His car was going as fast as his face is. I think he might be in first.
Yeah, that's a prime example of the tossins right there, isn't it? You get happy, sad, euphoria all in one go, and he'll be feeling very euphoric if he manages to get one on the inside here out of the final corner, as we see Leitner and Harrison actually having the exact same lap time up to the 3 decimal points that time run. So that would be crazy to see how they compare. As coming out to turn number 1 now, looks like Naj is gonna go through on the inside. He had a better run coming out of turn 16, and very textbook move, blocks past him on the way out.
Oh my God, yeah, blocking, and it's not even as smooth as it looks because now Reales is coming through behind him. So the action just continuing to heat on up. And while we've been watching this, Gael Valero is getting ever closer to Quarantine Guinness up front. So there's so much to watch here, and I think for Mora, he's really having to worry here. So Ziller not just getting up there, right? But for Mora, he's got so much to worry about. He's trying to make the move of his own while also defending. So much going on that we've got to hold on to that for a second while we watch Gael Valero and see what he can do up front.
Yeah, looks like Guinness might be having some latency issues, but he is hitting 88 miles per hour, just bringing like a DeLorean every now and then. So far, though, it looks as though the connection has gotten back together for him. Only just with Valero, though, notably looking a little bit more, well, He kind of looks like that when he drives anyway, very serious, but maybe has a bit more urgency right now because he's still stuck by his fellow countrymen and Leitner with Filippa so tend to like to be close right in front of him, just 1.2 seconds.
So close. So Vasquez coming up behind. He's about to retake that 6th place spot that he had earlier. Valero up in front trying to do exactly the same thing to Guinness. I think he wishes that was his space. Karen Harrison, by the way, pulling a Gael Valero where you're in first by a mile and then you still set the fastest lap. A 1:54.9 for Karen Harrison up top. Oh my God. And Gael now trying to show him up a little bit more. He gets so close to the back, almost a 10th between him and Quarantine Guinness, and he can't do it. He's so close. Too tight a corner for him to make it happen there. Looks at the outside, but nah, that's not it. So just trying to keep it as close as he can. I mean, he thinks this 4th place spot has got his name on it, Amir.
Yeah, indeed. And, well, he doesn't want to stay forever. He knows full well that Leitner's in front and left. Filippa in P2 is even closer. So game's still on here, and we're only in the penultimate lap of this race. Anything can still happen for the final position on the rostrum, Reed.
That's right. Glad you fulfilled our legal obligation to say that once a race, Amir. And it really is true, right? We had orders change on the very last lap of the previous heat. So absolutely something to keep an eye on here. Aaron Vasquez coming through. He might be able to take over Soriano, but then we've got 3.5 seconds between them and Gael Valero, who is looking to make it even more as he continues to race his countrymen there, or maybe not the podium. It could be. I mean, we do have that lap that you were talking about to do anything we want. Well, anything except catch Kieran Harrison. If the name of the game was Where in the World is Kieran Harrison, nobody would be able to find this guy. It says that he has a Great Britain flag, but by the time you get there, he's going to be 6.5 seconds further towards another country than you are. So, oh my God, Gael Valero, he is just showing us why he is absolutely one of the best racers in AMX 10 so far. So many fastest laps, so many highlights, so many wins last season, and he's putting them all out here on the track for us, defending, attacking, the whole 9 yards. What a complete picture of virtuoso run here by Gael Valero in 5th.
Yep, he could put the icing on the cake here by being on the podium, but no doubt he'll be slightly disappointed that he couldn't make the moves stick earlier on to actually challenge for the podium. But nonetheless, still a very valiant drive for Valero either way. As further behind, Soriano and Vasquez, they're going at it hammer and tongs, and literally no handle. Oh, how did he not lose that? Soriano really was on the edge.
So close, and he's still battling it out neck and neck. I think Soriano wants that place back. They are absolutely glued next to each other, but in the end, it is going to be Soriano over Vasquez. In the end, it's going to be Soriano. I don't even know. I can't even call this. Aaron Vasquez giving up. I haven't seen that like ever. Coming at it for round number 2. I think he's about to just try to do him up again. Gael Valero in front almost just did the exact same thing, but we got to keep an eye on this. Vasquez sliding it a little bit around means that's the end of this for now.
Now at least, but he's still on the rear end of Soriano then. It is still not over now by a long shot. What a way to finish it. Front and back all the way through, except at the very front. Kieran Harrison just jacked out immediately the moment he got into the lead, exactly as one of the comments mentions that, well, once he's in the lead, he's long gone, and 6.5 seconds ahead, more than 6 seconds up to 7. He shows how he's the cause of the field. And here's the battle for the rostrum here, Reed.
Yeah, absolutely. The battle for the top 3. It's Guinness, Leitner, and Filippa, all right next to each other. But for now, it is that 3rd place spot like you mentioned. 3rd, 2nd, 4th. It's all up for grabs here, and we are ending the final lap. Coming through, your race winner by a mile. It's Kieran Harrison in 1st place. The checkered flag flying. We're going to have to wait about 7 seconds before it hits on to Filippa. It will come through. The checkered flags over top. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Down to the wire. Aaron Vasquez can't make up the last 10th at 0.8. And he will come through in that 7th place, a plus 11 drive for him. An amazing showing there right down to the wire. Oh my God, Amir, as the checkered flags fly, you kind of have to think back. The very beginning of this race was total carnage. And a lot of the winners are the survivors of that. So from the front to the back, action all the way. AMX 10 delivering here in heat number 2.
What feel alive, isn't it? When you survive through a chaotic race like that. And for Kieran Harrison, he is on top of the world in terms of how he's getting away here with a priceless victory ahead of Filippa and ahead of Leitner, who had to really have a ding-dong battle throughout the entire race between the two Frenchmen. I'm glad that the racing delivered here all night, Reed. It was amazing.
Yeah, can we just make them keep doing this? AMX Season 5, we're going to make each heat an hour long. I just want to keep watching these guys. They are so good. I mean, you know, it might not be exciting to watch a guy be 7 seconds ahead of somebody, but, like, he's just that good. It's so crazy. And so now the BenQ session winner, Kieran Harrison, representing, of course, SimRC in the lead there. The number 7 car comes through by 7.3 seconds. $30 is his and the fastest lap. Dino Filippa representing once again Argentina. It's been a great day for them and him. Up in number 2, Norbert Leitner, highest placing Hungarian on the board. The Martian up in P3. Florentine Guinez and Gael Valero absolutely neck and neck the entire time, dueling it out. So much fun to watch. The Frenchmen come home P4 and 5. And on down the rostrum, some honorable mentions to our dearly departed Gaston Calavi, Peter Zuba, Arten Reutemann. Some tragedy befalling them at the start of the race. But overall, I got to say up here, what a pleasure to be able to watch these guys race. AMX 10, the pinnacle of competition here in the Global League Season 4, and just delivers week after week, banger after banger. So much excitement here in race number 5. We're only 5 races through. I think we're about 6 or 10 races through a 68 race season, which means there is so much more on the way, Amir.
Absolutely, 68 heats, as we will call it, with a full 30 round season. Crazy. And that's just only the first 2 weeks of competition alone. Can't imagine all the way out to April, how is it gonna all end? And in the championship stakes, how these guys will just go even harder for broke.
I mean, before these races, we were talking about Gael Valero and Aaron Vasquez, the top 2 who were tied currently in the standings after Aaron had an absolutely incredible last round. He's coming into this round 5 and really kind of struggled there a little bit more than we're used to seeing. And I think it's actually just a case of the field, the competition, the competitiveness catching up to him a little bit. Today is all about Kieran Harrison, man. What a way to finish things out. And before we talk to him, it looks like we're going to have a chance to get a quick chat with maybe Norbert Leitner to see what he thinks about his drive this race. So we'll take a quick break and then come back with that interview. Don't go anywhere. It's going to be great to hear from Norbert. I don't actually think we've gotten a chance to talk to him yet this season. So give us a second. We'll get Norbert on in for our first interview tonight. And welcome the magical Magyar himself, Norbert Leitner. Welcome to the broadcast. Congratulations. What a race. How are you feeling after such a crazy battle?
Hello, thanks for interviewing me. Yeah, it was a very intense race and races, and the quali was too. I was really lucky in the start of the races because there was really a mess around me, and I almost died like both of the start races. So yeah, it was really intense racing, I should say.
Yeah, it was really intense. So, I mean, congratulations on surviving. Now, a question I have for you is, it's our first time talking. How did you get started in sim racing and get so good?
I was actually here before last year. But yeah, I started sim racing like, I don't know, 12 years ago. 14, yeah, with F1 challenge. So it was quite a few moments after that Yeah, I was started iRacing in 2010. So I had really long time to get a good pace around here. So I mainly race in TCR. So that's how I race.
Well, it shows. Congratulations on your amazing performance here tonight. It's great to talk to you again, and hopefully we'll see you again soon in the future. Good luck in your racing, and we'll see you soon.
Okay, thank you.
All right, looks like coming up we get a chance to talk to the man himself, the winner of our last lap of our last heat. It's Kieran Harrison coming up. We get a chance to talk to the Brit and see what his thoughts were on an absolutely crazy second heat. So let's go ahead and get started with our next interview. So I want to welcome Kieran Harrison. Sorry, there's a little bit of a delay between us. I think it's about 7.5 seconds. So when I say something, you have to wait. What an incredible race, man. Talk me through. First of all, welcome back to season 4. Second of all, can I purchase that skill? Like, where does that come from? I know you're good at TCRs, but like, what happened that heat?
I mean, yes, you've said exactly what I was going to say. This is just unique to the TCRs, I think, because I've driven them so much compared to a lot of people. But yeah, I mean, it was one of them days again where, kind of like I had the other day, where the first race really was not going my way luck-wise. I was thinking, what have I got to do to stay out of trouble? And then the start of this second race, everyone crashed on the first straight, and then it's just straight through the lead on the first lap, and then again, as I said last time, plain sailing from there.
Well, yeah, that second heat was maybe a little bit anomalous, but yeah, the first one was definitely a struggle. So you're on a track and especially a car that you're so familiar with. How do you like keep it together when things are not going your way in a race?
It's just the dream of getting the reverse grid, really. That's all I was looking for in the first race. I was on a lot of incident points for a long time. I was 4x away from getting the drive-through for at least half the race. So I was really just trying to be super safe. And in this series you're going to get the reverse grid, and then you got another chance to go again in the second race. I imagine the motivation's a lot harder to keep going if it then goes wrong again in the second race. But luckily, when it goes wrong in the first race, you got another chance.
Wow, almost like it's one of the unique features of AMX 10. Well, anyway, it's great to see you back here again, and congratulations on such a good performance there in the second race, or the last race of the night. What else you got going on? We hope to see you back here in AMX 10, but you guys racing in anything else this season?
I think I'm down for the final round of the DNLS series. We've got a TCR entry in that, and I think I'm filling in for that. Other than that, it's just going to be this and then the occasional special event when I race and run them.
Well, good luck in that. If you guys want to follow Kieran when he races in those, yeah, definitely go check him out. And hopefully we'll see you back here again for even more success in AMX Global League. Thanks for coming out, Kieran. Look forward to seeing you again soon.
Thank you.
All right, great to hear from those guys. Really just, I think, a textbook way to race. And while it would have been really boring to just show the onboard for Kieran that whole race, I think we all would have learned a little bit because, like, oh my God, someone stop this guy.
And it's nice to hear Kieran's point of view of how he deals with a disappointing first race, jumps straight away to the second one, and makes the most of it by grabbing the opportunity in both hands. So it does. We can pick the brains a bit of some of these fast guys and see how they work. And it's nice to see Kieran showing a bit of an insight how you can actually come back from that kind of doldrum initially to get back on the highest of highs.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of discipline, a lot of experience, right? If it's your first race, if you're used to, throwing your tantrums on the floor, you hop in the sim, and something doesn't go your way, then mentally you're out of there. But really cool to see Kieran not only highlight his own ability to persevere and hang on for that reverse grid spot, but another one of the great reasons why the double reverse grid really gives you a lot to race for. Even if you don't have a great qualifier, or you get stuck in traffic, you get off tracks, and your lap doesn't count, you can still come back for Heat 1. If things don't go your way in Heat 1, you still come back for Heat 2. And that's exactly what happened there for Kieran. He was able to make it happen, come back, and show us just how dominant a drive you can have. And I wish we had maybe not an award, but like a way to track the person who wins by the largest amount. Because maybe you have some incidents back in the back and there's a big gap between those guys, but when the gap is between P1 and P2, it just goes to show how good Kieran is on those TCRs. So great to hear from him, and in fact, great to just get a chance to watch so many amazing drivers here tonight. And I think we're actually about to check out the way things doth shakeneth down in heat number 2 in AMX 10. And I think this is the total for all of our racers. It's Kieran Harrison who bags a cool $60 in first place. Second place goes to Gael Valero in 57. With 57, Norbert Leitner rolling through with 54 in his pocket. Florentine Guedes comes through in fourth. Aguilar, Philippa Soriano, Naj Fredis, and Aaron Vasquez down there. And I don't know if you remember from earlier, Abir, the battle for top spot in AMX 10 this season was tied between Gael Valero and Aaron Vasquez. And with this second place finish today, that's going to put him way back ahead in the lead. So congratulations to Gael Valero for climbing back up there, to Kieran Harrison for making a big statement on his way up the ladder, and for finishing with a very dominant first place in AMX 10 here tonight.
Absolutely. And it looks as though Vasquez may not be liking to see these touring cars afterwards, because it wasn't really his strong suit by the looks of it. And he just toiled through, tried to hope to get the best possible result. It's still a top 10 overall, but probably he'll chuck this one in the bin and wait for other opportunities to come by with cars that probably suit his strong points.
That's right. Well, coming up next, we have NASCARs and Formula 4s. If that's more your speed, you got plenty of time to register at amxrace.com if you want to get yourself in here and climb up the points with the guys you just saw on that results screen. If you want to keep up and maybe learn a little bit more about the AMX Global League Season 4, you can follow us on Twitter and Instagram. We post a lot of highlights, announcements, signups, special deals, all kinds of crazy stuff up there on social media. So AMX Global on Twitter or X and Instagram. We'd love to see you guys follow us on there. And we'd especially appreciate if you're watching on Twitch or YouTube, if you drop us a follow or a subscription. We really appreciate your support. Couldn't do it without you guys. So once again, if you want to join, amxrace.com is the place to go. If you want to get in on the conversation, check us out on social media. And if you want to join the AMX Global Discord, it's right down there below the screen. We'd love to have you in there in the community where you can talk to the guys we just talked to, a whole lot more. It's been a long night for us and hopefully a great day for all of you guys. But sadly, it's got to come to an end until we go racing again later on this week. So it's been a great day of racing, and we want to thank everybody behind the scenes and you guys out there, whether you're racers or watchers. Thank you so much for being here for another great day of racing, the AMX Global League Season 4. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again next time.
magic. I know I've got to see to Bali. Oh, you love the madness. Can you show me what it's like to feel free? With me.